Welcome. Chat rules. No doxing. No homophobic bullcrap. No racial bullcrap. If you don't like someone in chat, click on their name and select block. And then select block again. Done. If you ever feel like it's all too much, log off and contact the number below for help. To be eligible for gifted memberships, click the $sign and select membership. Then hit gift settings and slide to on to allow gifts. Turn off gift settings the same way. My email, conniekr68@gmail.com. Tips are appreciated, never expected. Cash App, $sign, capital CONNIEKR. PayPal me at ConnieKR68. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism and commenting.
Get ready, because Constant Sue has something to say, like it or not. Good way early morning. How is everyone today? We're going to go over something that caught my eye at 3 a.m. this morning. Let me see who else here first. Wicked little honeybee, Granny Grinch. Stay as long as you can, Granny Grinch. Granny Grinch. Chin Chillin', Nina. Who else? Dodie, Virgo Way. Sarah. Sarah, you can join me whenever you're ready. No rush, just whenever you're ready, and I'll just talk away. I'll try to get done so then you could go over we could go over on your channel with Mama T, because that's what we had planned to do today. We had planned to do Mama T with Sarah today, but when I couldn't sleep in the middle of the night last night, I seen Bandit was live. Hey, Sky. Shazzy Bear. Fizz Crank. Wimbles. I seen that Bandit TV was live. And it said shell spill. And I'm thinking, what the hell's a shell spill? So turned it on, tuned in, and Bandit was doing a protection spell to protect Ernie and all of his court doings and all of his legal entities, because something told him, I don't know if he said did a card reading or what, or something that someone was going to interfere in Ernie's case. Thank you, Just Wimbles, for being a new member. Something told him that somebody was going to interfere in Ernie's case. Well, let's start with that. There's no way to interfere with Ernie's case. If you mean by interfere, sending evidence to the prosecutor or sending clips of what Ernie said to the prosecutor, it's up to the prosecutor to use them or not. If they're false, they're not going to use them. If they're legit and the prosecutor thinks that they can further their case, then they're going to use them. They're not going to make up false charges. So there's no way you could interfere in Ernie's case. I've sent a message to Bandit. I said, I'd like your approval to review that. I didn't get a reply back, but he might not have seen it. I tabbed again it this morning, but it's kind of short notice, so he might not have seen it. But he's welcome to join me because I have a lot of questions. Now, for a while there, he was covering Ernie, like on the critical side. But then he said he talked to Ernie and it humanized him. Thank you, Penelope. Buttercup Baby, Dreamer G, Sharan. He said it humanized him. So all of a sudden he got a kind of a soft spot, I guess, for Ernie. And he decided to ask Ernie to cover NAMBLA with him. Well, the reason I didn't watch that premiere very much is because I'm not interested in things like that. So I just skipped over it. But last night when I seen the shell spell, I thought, what the hell happened in this interview? So I went back and watched it. And I was like, oh my goodness. Bandit has drank the Kool-Aid. Bandit has fallen into the spot, if you will, that many, 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 many ladies and Ernie's victims have fallen into. Hey, morning, Viper. If you want to join me anytime too, I'm not real sure how to address it either, Viper. I'm going to do my best to do it how I'm going to do it, but I was like, he's drank the Kool-Aid. He's under the spell. He's been sucked into the cult. And then I thought, well, maybe he doesn't know. And then I thought back, no, he knows because he covered that side of Ernie. And somebody said, along through here, you'll hear him say, well, Ernie had a lot of knowledge about this, so I wanted to cover it with him. And somebody said, well, many rapists and murderers, something to the effect, many rapists and murderers have knowledge, but I don't want to learn it from them. And I thought, exactly. Which leads me back to, why did I ever start covering Ernie in the first place? Because I wanted to see if he knew what the hell he was talking about. Is he equipped to teach this class? Does he know what he's talking about? Where did he train at? Where did he learn from? I never got any answers. So then you go to a stream like this one that we're going to cover, where you see Ernie all kinds of excited about all kinds of weird ass shit that nobody should be excited about, should be somber about. But you're looking at it and you're thinking, does this guy know what he's talking about? More than that, you look at it like, is this guy a predator? Or is this guy the prey? How do we know the difference? Well, one, his schooling would tell you. Where did he go to school? Well, he trained at the something Institute for something. Oh, okay, that sounds legit. What did he work under? Well, he worked under this department, this department, this department. Okay, that sounds legit. When was his training? It was, 20, 21, 22. Okay, he's pretty much up to date. If you can see things like that, what's his credibility? What do people think about him? What has he shown himself to be online? Oh, he's a good guy. Oh, yeah, he's all for women and children. He's never doxed anybody. He's a really good guy. Or do we look at it like, I don't know where this guy trained. I don't know when he was last updated. All I've ever seen the guy do is dox women when he gets mad. All I've ever seen him do is disrespect women when he gets mad. Yeah, he might have some little nuggets of knowledge in between there, but no. So before we start anything, I'm going to play 3 videos that tell me all I need to know about whether Bandit should have Ernie, well, he can do it. He can have anybody he wants to. I shouldn't put it that way. What I don't know how to. I'm like Viper. I don't know how to put this because he can do anything he wants to. He can do anything he wants to. He can have anybody he wants to. But did it lessen his credibility in my eyes? Absolutely. The protection spell that he deleted. Hey Ash, it kind of was like, what about the victims? What about all Ernie's victims? Someone said in that chat, do you have a victim? Hey Fox, do you have a spell in there for them? Good morning, Spit Brass. Do you have a spell in there for Ernie's victims? Or did you just forget about Ernie's victims? What? Just because you've talked to Ernie Shell and humanized him, did you lose all your good sense? So we're going to start with a refresher course, which I hate to do sometimes because it's like, oh shit, we've seen this. But obviously we need a refresher course. So this is the first thing that told me that I don't want Ernie Shell teaching anything. This video is from Giving Payback. And it is from the date June 4th, 2022. Here's the link. Go over and give her a like and a view and sub up. And in the description, she says, Ernie Shell lies about saving a little boy from a predator. Oh, let me share my screen. There, hope you can see it. She says, Ernie Shell lies about saving a little boy from a predator at a Walmart early this morning. He gets caught lying, gets called out, and gets upset. Here I break it down for y'all to prove it was a lie. Who fabricates a story like this based off of someone else's past trauma? All to have a hero complex and get some back pats from his easily manipulated supporters. Y'all have got to wake up and stop allowing him to do you this way. You also have to stop enabling him. How many times will you watch him get caught with no excuses or way out of the lies he's telling, yet still ignore it? It does no one no good. And that's absolutely true. So we're going to play this video as a start. And I'll narrate it. I won't see chat because I'm going to read this, and then I'll go back and read chat. Ernie Shell tells tall tales again. Ernie Shell takes this opportunity to fabricate a story to feed his hero complex, but gets his own self caught up in his own lies, per usual. Today he jumped the gun by going live to talk about what he witnessed and how he helped a situation involving a pedo at Walmart, but he forgot to watch his own footage he recorded first. Why you always lying and making it so easy to catch?
God, Lord have mercy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Lord have mercy. What already happened this morning, it just beats me. I tell you, some people are just, I don't know.
The title of this was Ernie Shell, another predator bust, this time a real child involved. That was the title of his video right here. Ernie Shell, see? Another predator bust, this time a real child involved.
don't even know if they know. If they've got it, they've got it. If they don't, they don't.
June 4th, 2022.
I'll never understand that. Never, ever understand that. Will I understand it? Good God Almighty. Oh, gosh Almighty. Where's everybody at this morning? Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, God.
Let me see if I can make the quality better in case y'all want to read the comments. Quality.
God dang it. You ever go into Walmart for just a simple item or two, and then you look in Walmart and you trying to find that simple item? You know, all I was looking for is a basic shirt and jogging pants. That's it. Basic shirt and pair of jogging pants. That's all I was looking for. And this guy was, I mean, I guess when you've been in it a long time, you can just kind of figure out people, how they are and what they're about. Look how early it is. I mean, look, it's 9 o'clock in the morning right now. So it's about 8:30. This happened this morning. Just a woman out with her little kid, letting her little kid go to the bathroom. And this guy happened to follow the kid in. Well, it's that look. It's that look that you know. It's that look. That when you going in, you automatically know.
Make sure to pay attention to all the details of how he knows he's trained. The look, all the things that he knows that alerted him that there was a child in the bathroom with a predator. Pay attention to all the detail he tells.
I don't know how it is. I don't know if it's a God-given gift, if what it is. But thank God the right people was there in the right time. And you see the video. You see some of the video. I didn't have it all on video because it was things happened in the bathroom, and everything was able to move away and get to where it looked. It worked out. And the kid was safe.
Spoiler alert, there was no kid and nothing happened in the bathroom. But please listen as he continues to exaggerate to the fuss he caught on film. He does this to himself.
To the Honorable Chip Roy.
Let me go back to that.
If they know, if they've got it, they've got it.
Oh, silly me. Where?
All I was looking for is basically you can just kind of figure out people, how they are and what they're about. Look how early it is. I mean, look, it's 9 o'clock in the morning right now. All the kid in. Well, it's that look. It's that look that you know. Can you imagine if somebody hadn't been in that bathroom? Just say if somebody hadn't been in that bathroom, then know what was going to go on, or just seen that person go in that bathroom. Think about that. I watched that guy's eyes on that kid. I watched that woman, a little 7, 8-year-old little boy, put her little kid in that, let her little kid go to the men's restroom. Nobody there with him. Guys, look, if your kid is that young and you're female, don't let the little kid go to the men's restroom, okay? Don't look at that. She opened the door, let him go in. She stood outside the door. I watched a guy come across, look, seen his opportunity. He had something in his hands. Automatically throwed it down and went toward that child. Inside that restroom, when that kid was in that bathroom.
Listen very closely to this part here. Later on in the live, when it's made obvious that these people knew each other, Ernie puts a new spin on the tale, pushing any way he can to make the bathroom part be believable. Well, what he's saying here blows his own lies out of the water again. She held the door for me, man.
Kid walked in. The guy kind of walked in behind him. The mother even held the door for the guy. Didn't know no better. Because they didn't understand that look. They didn't understand what was going on. It's like blood in the water.
Someone should have really watched their own other video before talking and telling a huge lie about how this all went down today. Since the story later changes, sure, Ernie, she let a known pedo who has harmed her family before go right on in there.
attracting sharks. He was in there. I gave him 5 seconds. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Went in, little kid was in the stall. The man was automatically going behind him, was behind the little kid, getting ready to grab the kid. Take his, like it was bent down, getting ready to. I could have stomped this dude's ass, literally, and got away with it, probably. But again, I'm in some, I don't want no more legal trouble. So all I did, just the presence, him seeing me walk in there and look at him. Out he went, back out. I grabbed the little kid, pulled the little kid out the bathroom, went, told what was going on. And next thing you know, I come back around, I got a manager, or I got somebody hollering because she's already hollering and screaming at him, and I hit the record button, and I was coming back around. But can you imagine, ladies, if your child's that of age, if that age and that young, don't let your kids go to the bathroom.
Here comes the original video he filmed today. It is beyond obvious that he just so happened to walk up on an argument about past events, years past. You will hear her say, "My son was only 7. He trusted you." Again, past tense. Why lie and add all the bathroom embellishments, Ernie?
By themselves. Either have
Yes, you are. My son told me, don't you call my son a liar. We'll handle it right now, right here. I don't have to be on your head.
Notice down here, this was Ernie's video, and it says, "Predator bust with real child caught at Walmart by me and employees." Ernie posted this video saying it was a real predator hunt with the child.
My son was 7. He trusted you, man. He trusted you.
On that Walmart.
It is true. Hell said it. Oh, don't you worry. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
Down here, y'all guys.
My son told me. He ain't no liar.
Only at Walmart, right? Yeah. Can't get this shit nowhere else. Only at Walmart. Yeah, I got him. I got him.
Wipe your cheek.
Hey, sir, you okay?
Here.
Are you okay, sir?
Phone out.
What happened?
This woman, you saw it. Now get your phone out.
It's right here. You got to call the police on that. I got his face.
Are you guys calling the cop on him? Or
I guess. That has to be called.
If you go back and ignore Ernie talking, you can hear her even telling more of the story again, saying this man molested her son when he was 7 years old. She's in the background speaking to other spectators.
So that's a domestic right there. It has to be called. That has to be called.
I need a birthday bag. Okay, it's over here. You need a what?
A birthday bag.
That's over here.
I got the police online.
You got the police
I got
online?
it.
Okay.
I got him.
Yes. That guy molested her son at 7 years old, and he's in the store.
I've got it over here.
Back to more of Ernie lying about the reality of today's events. You do this to yourself, Ernie. Why not just be honest? You could have simply said, I walked up on a woman in Walmart today who was calling out a man for molesting her son in the past, and it would have still provided awareness. Adding the whole bathroom part that did not take place is the BS that people cannot tolerate. Not only is it the BS you can't tolerate, it's the creepy predator vibe that we won't tolerate.
Can you imagine? Told what was going on, and next thing you know, I come back around, I got a manager, or I got somebody hollering because she's already hollering and screaming at him, and I hit the record button, and I was coming back around. But can you imagine? Ladies, if your child's that of age, if that age and that young, don't let your kids go to the bathroom by themselves. Either have a grown adult with them, someone who knows something about what's going on, or take them to the women's bathroom. They're little kids. They're little kids. You can do that. You can do that. You can do that. Now, during this thing, I'd shopped all morning long for a nice shirt. They had one shirt in my size, and I had that damn shirt. And I lost it somewhere in with the scuffle running this dude down. I lost it with a scuffle. So there goes my shirt. So I guess I'll go have me some breakfast this morning and we'll call it a day, right? Good God Almighty. But you see, general awareness is what that come in. That's what came in there. And when I seen the guy have something in his hand and throw that item down, no longer use for that item. His other use was, hey, this is my opportunity right here. Next thing you know, that's how things happen, guys. Now, I could have went in there earlier.
Embellishing an argument you just so happen to walk upon to this extent, making up these gross details is just as disgusting to do as the event you are lying about happening. Had it really taken place? Who does this?
But if I went in there earlier, what could happen? He could say, oh, no, I wasn't doing nothing. He could just been behind the kid. But he was already knelt down, getting ready to grab the kid's pants and pull it down. Think about that, guys. Think about that. And in a stall, guys, in a stall. So now here I am. I had to get done talking to police. Police has got it. Police has got all of it in wraps. So the guy goes out. So we're following the guy. He's trying to get out the store. He gets a disguise and puts on. He puts a hat on his head. That way we wouldn't know.
Of course the creep got out of the store. One way or the other, the guy is a pedo and was being called out on it. But Ernie even has to embellish the getaway a little more too. Embellish the getaway a little more too. Jeez.
He puts a hat on his head. And everybody's looking for him. I said, there he is right there. They're like, oh, yeah, he put a hat on his head. So,
Yeah, because a simple hat would change his appearance so damn much that only superhero Ernie would be able to recognize him with his spectacular spy abilities. Ugh.
they're sitting there. You see me walk up. You see when I walk up to him without the hat. It's before he had the hat. They knew he was in trouble when I walked up to him. But that's all it takes, guys, is to have that eye. Have that eye. Know what you're doing and have that eye. That's all you got to do. Did anybody watch the video? I can't post a video here because the footage is so good because I took it with the S22. But I'm telling you guys got to remember, that's what
You had to quit teaching general awareness. Why? To have more time to stir drama and tell massive lies on the YouTube streets. We all know that has never been a priority here, Ernie. Ernie, let me try that again. We all know that this has never been a priority here, Ernie. That was always a fabricated claim to reel folks in for donations anyhow. Drama comes first. Professionalism doesn't hold a candle to doing real things for you. You cannot fool us all, Ernie.
why, that's why I hated having to teach general awareness, because it's in the eyes. It's in the eyes.
Did he ever teach general awareness? That's my thought.
If you don't know what to look for, you miss it. That kid could have been raped right there.
Wow, just wow. That kid who wasn't even there, that kid who's a grown man now, things do happen in this world and it's sickening. But to take a fight about an old event and make up lies about you coming in to be some sort of hero to a non-existent event is sickening as well.
Or a sexually assaulted, whatever. That kid that could have happened to that kid right there. Just now, that could have happened to him. Nobody would. I mean, do you think that woman was going to come in? No.
Again, Ernie, all you had to do today was be honest about what you walked upon. All you had to say was, guys, I happened to catch this woman going off on this man about him molesting her son in the past. It would have still mattered Who makes up a huge lie and adds all this other stuff to it, and then gets mad when they're getting caught lying? And who gets mad when they get caught lying? And guys, as I replay today's events, I caught something else major to prove he's lying. At the end of the video that he took himself, the lady involved has walked up to speak with the Walmart workers. You can clearly hear the worker say, "This man molested her son several years ago, and he's in the store now." That is when Ernie cuts the video. I cannot believe he would post this and not watch first, and come straight on to add his hero story to it all, using someone else's past trauma and expecting to not get caught. Watch and listen again for yourselves. You may need to play it a couple times. The woman has already spoke with the worker who is going to tell her boss what is going on. This man molested her son several years ago, and now he's in the store. Had anything happened there today, the woman would have not left that part out. Adding to this story like this is sick, Ernie.
You need a what?
A birthday bag.
That's over here.
I got the police online.
You got the police
Yeah,
online?
I got 'em.
Okay.
I got 'em.
I guess that guy molested her son at 7 years old, and he's in the store.
I've got it on video.
Okay.
Earlier in the video, I mentioned there comes a time that Ernie gets called out for his being an obvious lie, and that he tried to put a spin on the story. Here's a clip where he admits that, yes, those two must have known each other already. Since that is the obvious situation at hand, Ernie told on himself when he said earlier she even held the door open for him to go into the bathroom with the non-existent little boy. Because none of that ever happened. This is one of the many spins he tried to later put on things when being called out, but it just proved more lies. How his followers never catch on and support it all, no matter what, is beyond all understanding.
No more. It's somebody else's deal, not mine. I can't stand people because I'm out of it anyways. It ain't. Okay, is that all right? Because I'm out of it anyways. It ain't my deal no more. It's somebody else's deal, not mine. I can't stand people like that. Anyways. There's a video of it, dumbass. Go look at it. But anyways, here. Can we I'm gonna mod some new mods today. I'll have some new mods. So we can get rid of these idiots in here. Like I said, I don't know much about the situation. The only thing I said is I seen what I seen, and that's all I can say. That's all I know. I know when he threw that article down, what he was going for automatically. They're dumbasses. So she may have known the guy. I don't know. Like I said, I was just there for a few minutes, and that was it. I didn't stick around and ask their names or nothing else. I called 911. We got 911 down. Everything's done. So good day in Tennessee, right? Good day in Tennessee. I got it.
Doohickey, thank you for gifting 10 memberships.
Yes, sir. Are you okay? Are you okay, sir? What happened?
This woman, you saw it.
See, he said you saw it. See, here's the thing.
Yes, Ernie, as in you saw the interaction take place between these two people. You're really reaching.
I never, I didn't put two and two together, but you guys did there. And I'm glad you guys did because, obviously this woman must have known this guy. This woman must know it. It is posted on my channel, guys.
Exactly. This woman knew this man from the past. He did this to her son, who is now grown, in the past. But this proves that you lied earlier, too, because no way would she have just let the known predator walk into a bathroom while holding a door for him. He lies so much that he forgets his own tales. He has already forgotten that she supposedly held the door and watched this man go into the bathroom incident that never took place. Jeez.
So the woman must know this guy. You're right. Whoever said that, spotted that out. That's good. That's good. You see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So obviously, the way she's holding her hand, she knows this guy. So I mean, this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time this happened. This ain't the first time at all. This ain't the first time at all. If you look at the woman, you can see the little kid. The kid is behind her. Let me show you.
Also, there's no child at all. Rewatch the video and you can see for yourself. We've already watched it, so we know.
Hold on a minute. I don't know if she's with somebody else or not. Let me see if that's her mom. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. So this kid was in here, though. Let me show you. There's a kid. I'm going to see if I find it here. Let me back it up a little bit.
You can't find the kid. Last but not least, take your own advice, Ernie. Check it twice, cut it once. You certainly did that this time before telling one hell of a lie.
Actually, the people heard her screaming, and they was running toward her, and I seen one. I grabbed one, and I hit the record button going around the corner. As you can see it, I hit the record button going back around the corner. So I don't know. You ain't got time to sit here and say, hey, hold on, wait a minute, let me hit record here. You ain't got time to do that. If I had time to do that, then I might have messed up on what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Something could have happened. I didn't have time, and I can't record in the bathroom, right? So you assess what? The situation, and then if need be, you control it. But we do what? We insert ourselves into those situations. But first, we do what? Check it twice, cut it once before we do anything. We make sure it's safe. If it's something.
Unfortunately for you, Ernie, you have many people out here checking. Let me start all over. Unfortunately for you, Ernie, you have many people out here checking it all over and over again, multiple times, and coming to the conclusion that your bullshit just is not cutting it. All excuses never results. Okay, so there's that video. Now that tells me that he talks a good talk, tells a good tale. Sounds like, he's teaching a class. He might know what he's talking about. But when you get down to it, and when it's broken down, he was full of shit. Busted by his own video. But what kind of sick weirdo puts in those details that he put in there? So your mind goes back to think, who is this guy teaching these classes? Is he a perv just being a perv? Or is he a legit teacher? Where did he go to school? Don't know. Where was his training? Don't know. When was his training? Don't know. Can anybody verify anything he's ever taught? Oh. So if I'm weighing my scales here, I don't want to call Bandit out by name, but I'm going to say it, Bandit, because you're saying people are dehumanizing Ernie. And if we would just look at Ernie with humanizing eyes, maybe we would see different. Oh, I'm humanizing him, all right. Just not in the light that he wants to be portrayed in, but it's the light he lives in. Okay, so we got that video. On to the next. Now, this is Ernie's own words. Own words.
A couple of months ago about a female that was kinky, that was tied up into a room with a video camera going, and she thought her and Ernie were gonna, throw down for the night. But Ernie, by his own words, and I'm sure archivist Tina has this, states that he walked out of the room and told a bunch of men to go on inside the bedroom and take care of her, and he never saw her again.
You mean this one?
Lady I was with, she wanted to do videos. She loved to make videos of her body. And she set up shit all the time for that. So here we are. She's like, one blindfolded one time. I'll never forget this shit. And I was thinking to myself, I'm leaving this bitch. I don't give a damn. I'm leaving her. I don't want nothing to do with her no more. So she lays down on the bed. She starts taking her clothes off, and she's laying there. The video's playing. All I did is I opened the door and hollered at my brother. I walked away. As I was walking out, I don't know what happened to her. I guess she liked it. It was on video.
Oh my God.
So, Mama T, you can't always defend me. Remember that.
Okay, Ernie.
Because because when I was younger, I was just in what I thought I was doing. And when I say I opened the door was already open. Hell, and she didn't give a damn. She liked audiences. She liked all that shit. I'm not really too much into that. But when she put that blindfold on and put her little restraints or whatever the hell she did, put her little buttercups and stuff, that little Velcro shit, little nearest to nothing, and laid back like she did, got back like she did, I just walked out, left the door open. Two of my black friends were standing out there. I told them to have fun.
Oh my God. Ernie.
Like, trigger warning if you like. It's reality. And I'm real as it comes. I've done bad things in my life. I've done some crazy shit in my life. But I think I don't think she's racist no more. Whatever happened, happened.
Okay. I got that one confused with the other one that I'm going to go over. That was from SDA. Hey, Sarah. Can you hear me? Are you there? It says you're muted. I guess you'll pop up when you want to pop up. Hey, Night Owl. Okay, and then there's the next one. Sarah, just pop up when you're here, or if you hear me. The next one is Creeper Vibes on a Bus. Now, when you want someone teaching your class, a predator class, do you want somebody that says that they tied up a girl and let his brothers have the way and you don't know what happened to her? That's tipping my scales more to the predator. And I'm also humanizing Ernie. It was his own words. His own words. I didn't make them up. His own words. And then finally, we have this one for my 3-part. Is he a predator or prey? Ernie's on a bus, sitting next to a woman. And this is how he introduces her. Creeper vibes.
Anything like me. You're good at what you do.
Okay, now I see you.
There you are.
It was the wrong browser or something. Okay, I'll shut up now.
That's the lead issue.
That's okay.
Look at that. Now, okay, guys, okay, look at that. Oh, it goes all the way up and around. Ties in with this new stuff here.
Stop looking at her butt cheeks.
So you can
bro.
Oh, okay. I see how it is now. Well, if she can talk, I can touch.
You know, just those words. I see how it is now. I've heard that from creeps before. I don't know where, but I've heard that from creeps before.
No. Yeah, probably him.
Anyways, so yeah,
Probably him.
I'm mad as hell.
So you don't do
What
women.
did you just say? I am.
She's so uncomfortable, she turns her legs away from him. Mr. Protect women and children at all costs.
I'm getting told. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take this off.
Yeah, well, he's streaming with his phone up her ass cheek.
Now they are.
Yeah, absolutely was. Like
She kept getting closer and closer.
Inches from her ass cheek. Absolutely.
Like, stay away from her bunghole, bro. You're on a bus with somebody you don't know. That was weird.
Absolutely. So then, if you're thinking about, is this guy a predator or prey? Should he be teaching a class? Should we give him any airtime at all? You know, because somebody said in that chat last night, well, I'm sure Ted Bundy, you know, gave a good speech too. He was a suicide prevention operator. So I'm sure he taught a good class. And Sarah, I seen your comments in there. I didn't watch it. I think I went in there for like a minute and I wasn't interested, so I left. But watching it last night, I was like, oh my God.
My comments where?
In this what we're gonna review right now.
Okay. Oh, back in the day? I know, smack me.
No, this is from Bandits. From Bandits interview as premiere.
Oh, I was having fun in the Rumble one.
You were like, he's a creep. He's a creep.
I kept saying all kinds of shit.
The whole chat was.
Chat was tearing them up. And then Angelo came over too out of nowhere. It just one by one, more and more people just found the thing. And it wasn't planned. I swear it wasn't planned.
His very own mods said that. I mean, I was thinking his mods were going to say, you know, keep it respectful or something. But his own mods were like, I can't with him. I can't with this. And I was just like, oh my God. Bandits drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I thought he was just like trying to get an interview, like a legit interview at this time. During this interview. Because you wouldn't think you would say the stuff you're saying. Like he says stuff that I won't. He has said stuff that I wouldn't even say, like about his butt and stuff. About butt sex and stuff. Like I don't even ever say that. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. In his videos. Things I wouldn't even say.
Yeah.
Then,
when I seen it last night, you know, and last night he did a spell to protect Ernie.
Is it a real spell?
Well, I don't know. It's, you know, it's much as you believe in that stuff. I mean,
well, I think he thinks it's real. So I would like to ask some people in the chat that do that witch stuff, please. Oh, there are people in the chat that practice that kind of thing.
You bleeped out, Sarah, but he deleted it. Your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon to address. Your browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in the address bar and then reload the page.
Oh, shit. Am I the only one on the panel? Did Constance fall off and leave me here? And you guys might not even hear me.
I hear you now. Do you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. It's because I got a call. I was trying to tell you, phone call, because it cuts me off with sound for a minute.
Now you're roboting a little bit.
Motherfucker. All right, there's literally nothing I can... I want to fix this. I don't care. Stop this from happening. Is it a StreamYard thing? This never used to happen before with my earbuds.
I did your echo thing.
Me too. I feel like I can't even talk on panels anymore. I constantly have to do that. It's so weird.
Now you sound fine.
Like, what do I have to pay to get rid of it? Well, yeah, but you have to constantly keep doing it. I'm always seeing Peachy in the chat. You're doing the demon thing. Like every 3 minutes.
Ash asked who did the spell. It was Bandit. It was a white magic spell, and it was to protect Ernie in his court dealings because he did a card reading, and he's seen that somebody was going to interfere in Ernie's case. So Now, if I was going to do it, I would have done a spell to have justice be served all the way around. May
Yeah, that's a
justice,
good one.
may it all come out how it's supposed to. But no, it was just protecting Ernie, protect Ernie, protect Ernie. And he showed it all. And then he went off screen because he goes, I got to do some things here that I don't want everybody to see. We didn't get to see what those were. But he even had a candle. He had a candle made with herbs and spices. I don't know what it is. But
What?
he said
Are you going to
something
show it?
no, he deleted it. And I didn't record it because I didn't think he would delete it.
Ah,
But
why
it
would you
was
delete the spell?
he did. I don't know. But it
I
was
know, yeah.
he had Ernie's
Yeah.
name engraved in the candle. It was an
What?
orange candle with flowers in it, and it had Ernie's name etched in it with the white, I think, pure white candle and a black pure white candle. And he did him in a little three, like a triangle. And then he had a picture of Ernie because he said you had a picture of Ernie, So he had his mugshot and he put it underneath the plate. And then he put the plate on top and he washed it with curing cream or it's what you call it to when you want to get the bad juju out. I don't know. Cologne. Spell cologne. I can't remember the name of it. And I'm making light of this because I want to try to make it funny.
Is there anybody that has it that would have it?
I don't know. But then he had another picture of Ernie to stand up. And it says, you should have a picture of your, now he didn't say subject. He didn't say mark. But he said something of who you're wanting it to go to. And it was one of them pictures of Ernie with his arms out like this, photoshopped. And I said, does it, screw up the spell if it's a Photoshop spell, Does it make it go wookie because it's not really Ernie?
I want to see the spell, dang it.
Yeah. So he did that. Then he struck a match and lit the candles and said some stuff around it. And then he blew smoke into it, blew smoke into it. And then that was it.
Oh,
But,
there's a chance we might get it.
Oh yeah, because it was really, I was like, why would you do a protection spell to Predator? That's why I had to play those. I had to do those 3 videos. The person must believe in it. Oh well. Or he might believe in anything. He's in court. You know how they'll believe anything. But it was it just floored me. Like, why would you protect a predator? Well, maybe he doesn't think he's a predator. That's why I had to play those 3 videos. If those 3 videos aren't enough, out of all the bunches that we have, like we have bunches and bunches and bunches, those 3 videos, stop it. It's fighting.
It's always one of our dogs.
Yes, it's the little one because the big one walked by. And I have to go, stop, and then she'll let the big dog walk by.
Wait, was it last night just for the production to search the archives?
Yes, it was last night at 3 a.m. because they did it during the witching hour.
Oh, I see. No one could see it really either, except for the people that have insomnia or different time zones.
I got up to go to the bathroom, and every time I get up to go to the bathroom, I'm wide awake. So I'll find something that I can fall asleep to. And it said Shell Spell. That was the name of it, Shell Spell.
Was it titled that even?
Yes.
Shell Spell? Wow.
Shell Spell. And I guess he did some, this was part 2, I think, of Shell Spell. Part
Bandit,
1.
where you at?
I tagged him and I told him he was welcome to join us.
Bandit, can we have the StreamYard link, please? Thank you. What up, Ghost?
Part 1 was on Rumble, and then part 2, and I guess there's another 3.
Ooh, is it on the Rumble now?
I don't know. I don't have Rumble, and I didn't want to make it.
Well, wait. Well, we watched it. Wait, weren't you there watching it with me? The Rumble thing?
No, I just watched the premiere.
Oh, you weren't in the chat there? What? You just. All I did, see, I didn't really. It's so easy. Like when he put the link when he was premiering the Rumble or whatever. All I did was click on his link, and it brought me to Rumble.
Oh.
It was like a few clicks or something. Then I hit follow the channel. It's kind of like all the other things like this, and then it will be in your feed. So I mean, it was just really simply a few clicks and signing up basically. I don't ever go over there. I just have it in case anyone's ever doing the shows over there or whatever. I'm not going to go on there surfing or anything.
Yeah, I guess he did it on Rumble, and then he recorded that and made it a premiere. So I didn't even watch the premiere. I wasn't interested in NAMBLA. I didn't, but once I seen the shell spell, I had to go back and say, what the hell did
What in
Ernie
the
tell
hell with the
you?
shell spell?
Yeah,
Yep.
what did he tell you to make you want to protect him?
What in
It
the
was
spell?
crazy.
Maybe Ernie put a spell on him.
Yeah, or I mean, somebody said maybe he was not manipulated, but what's the other word? Not mesmerized either. I can't think of my words this morning, but it was
Entranced?
something like that, mesmerized or something. That
Yeah.
Ernie talking to him, hypnotized him. I don't know.
Oh. He got like a fan. He fanboyed.
Well, I don't want to, I don't want to go automatically to the he's got a boy crush, but something happened because he went from covering Ernie like most of us do to Ernie's a human, he's a real boy, let's be nice to him. And I'm thinking, dude, there's a reason why nobody's nice to him. I mean,
Can you answer? Do you know what Flossie is? Is it on his second channel? Does he have a second channel, or was it on the regular Bandit Network TV? Flossie's trying to know. Look for
just a
it.
minute.
Captivated. That's a good word for it.
I'll let my dog quit barking. I'll talk.
I said entranced because I was thinking more along the lines of spells in my mind. Okay, let me go sit down. I was grabbing my coffee. 1 second.
They're still going off.
When the dogs do that shit, it makes me laugh every time because I have a mouth over here that does it whenever anyone walks by. He's like, and what, bitch? So my dog likes to start shit with other dogs, so
They're
it's all
still
good.
going. No, Ash, I didn't see the spices. They were melted in the candle.
So he rolled them or he put them in the wax, like the melted wax.
Stop! That's enough. That's enough.
Listen, dogs, we are trying to learn about this spell. It's very important news. Okay, little puppy dog dogs.
Oh, she wants eat it. Stop.
Oh, okay, thank you, Flossie.
Ashley, I think he said he had the candle made, or he made the candle himself. But it was orange wax with spices and something's in it, with the name Ernie's name carved in it. And the one I watched last night was on YouTube. Because I don't got Rumble, so it was.
Well, I can check for you.
Yeah, maybe look and see.
Hey, Night Owl, the one you found on Rumble, is it called Shell Spell?
There's a part 1 that's supposed to be on Rumble, and this was part 2.
Or if anyone scanned it, scan it and see if you see this stuff with an orange candle and shit. And if you scan it and can kind of scroll through it and see if it's that stuff, then I can stream it. I can come up on my other screen and share screen or whatever, and then she can watch
it.
it.
Was never on YouTube. The spell.
Oh wait, you're on a computer now.
Part 2 was on last night. I watched it 3-something this morning. The Witching Hour, because he said he did it. Who was there with me?
Yeah, but he has 2 channels, Sandy. Maybe it was on the
Austin
2.
was there. Innocent to Proven Guilty was there. My Girl Waffles was there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an orange candle. What's an orange candle, Ash?
Chaotix Halloween candles.
Peachy said yes. We got the alert last night. Yeah, it wasn't very long. It was like probably 30 minutes. What's an orange candle mean? Yeah, part 2 is last night. Part 1's on Rumble of the spell that I didn't watch. I just seen part 2, and that was enough to make me go, "What the fuck? Why would you want to protect Ernie?"
And also even though there's a Bandit Network 1, I think there's a Bandit Network TV 2 or something like that. I think there's 2 on YouTube. On YouTube, so maybe it was on for the people that said they didn't see it or they didn't get it, didn't get a notification or whatever. Well, sometimes YouTube screws it all up anyway.
Yeah, part 2 is about the orange candle, but I don't know what orange candle means. Let me see.
What's the orange? Oh.
Okay, this is part 1.
Oh, there you go. Ash put the orange candle at the bottom there.
What's the orange candle mean?
Business,
Orange
success, justice, ambition, opportunity, and
justice.
celebration. None of the above that we want.
But we got part 1 of the spell. Or maybe I'll just put the link in there. It says court case candle spell for luck and judge favoritism. In this video, I will show a spell you can do for your ongoing court case. The purpose of the spell is to influence the judge to show you favoritism and boost your chances of winning in a court case. Why would you want to do that for Ernie?
I think we need a warlock up in this bitch. Can somebody find a warlock? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, like here, I'll put the link in case anybody wants to go.
Well, we have a ghost in the chat. That might do. I mean, after all, he's an evil ghost. We need somebody that can
There's
reverse
part
this.
1. And all I said was, if Ernie's a good guy, may the spell work. If Ernie's a predator, may it bite him in the ass twofold.
He just wrote it, or it just went through. I'm a ghost. Does that count? I must have posted after I said that. That's funny.
You know, I like Bandit, and he's this is nothing against him, but
yeah,
I
always thought he was chill.
Lord,
we're just curious onlookers. That's it.
Yeah, we don't have 3 hours to watch a spell. I felt creepy watching a spell for 30 minutes. I was like, is this going to give me some voodoo that I don't want to? Yeah. No, the second one was only 30 minutes long. 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops. He put the candles out. He put the
the important part.
He washed the plate with cologne, spell cleansing cologne. He washed his
cologne.
Yeah, he said it was cologne. This smelled like bourbon and vanilla. And he had to light the candle with a match. Can't do it with the lighter. You're supposed to do it with a match. And you have to do a clockwise order.
Cologne could have caught on fire.
Oh, but guess what? So he has this picture of Ernie. Then he has a plate on top. On top of the plate is the 3 candles.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has another picture of Ernie, the one with the fake, he does his arms out like he's got his biceps out. That's what happened. That picture fell over into the candle and caught fire. I said, that's a sign. He put it up. And guess what happened? It fell over again and caught on fire.
That's a sign.
I said, if
that's
it doesn't,
a fucking sign right there. It did it twice.
Twice. I said, if it doesn't.
Come on, all you people in the chat with the voodoo, whatever you call it. Don't you think that's pretty sus that the fucking picture fell in the fire on purpose twice?
Right. Florida water. That's what it was, Ash. Florida water is a cologne used for cleansing away negative energy. That's what he did.
Somebody was watching that saying, hell to the no to this. Hell no.
Yeah, I was like, but why would you do it to protect Ernie?
That's why something took its matter in its own hands and lit that shit up on fire.
So he finally puts it up against something and barricades it up there so it can't fall again. I'm like,
he had to do interference in his own spell because the spell was working against him. That's funny shit.
Yes, it was funny. So I don't know if anybody will have it or not, but
yeah, we need that. We just want to watch it.
Yeah, Bandit, please just unprivate it so we can watch it real quick.
No hate, we just want to watch it. I mean, I think anyways. I just might laugh at some of the parts like I just did.
So okay, part 1 was 3, and then I guess he's gonna do part 2 on Rumble too. But this is let's get to this. Oh, now Ernie is talking. I've got this on the speed let's start out at normal speed because Ernie's just a little too excited about playing this. Now, I think that Ernie, the bandit, should.
They
were getting ready to bark again. They're getting ready to bark.
Okay, I was wondering if it was me. I was going to fix my shit. I'm like, well, maybe it's her dogs.
No, it's me. Any minute now. They're going to bark any minute. No. Every time this morning. And the barking is the little one. The little Chihuahua went to the big Rottweiler one.
Oh, the little dogs always start the shit. If you have 2 in a pack, it's always going to be the small one that thinks it's the badass.
Don't let anybody come in. Dog. Okay,
she's like, motherfucker. It's a Napoleon complex that dogs have.
Well, she was the one here first, so she's like thinks she's a leader of the pack, but it's the circle.
Oh, it don't matter what order it come in. The Chihuahua always runs the show. If it's a small Chihuahua-looking dog,
it is. She's half Rottweiler and half Chihuahua, but she looks more like Rottweiler.
Wait, what? Did you just say?
Yes, yes. The
How does a
mama,
Chihuahua? Wait. Back that shit up. How does a Rottweiler fuck a Chihuahua? Please tell
the
me without
mama
splitting it in
was the
two.
Rottweiler. Yes, the mama was a Rottweiler because the mama was
Well, how did Chihuahua get its dick in a big mama Rottweiler then without a couch?
we didn't see it, but
I'm
Ted's
sorry,
dad,
guys, to be graphic, but this ain't adding up. How does the
Ted's dad
genetics
had a
work on
Chihuahua
this?
looking dog.
I need to see a picture of this.
Yeah, I'll get you one. I think I put it on there one time before. Ted's dad
Bro,
had the Chihuahua looking dog, and we were babysitting Ted's brother's Rottweiler, and his peanut butter got in my chocolate, or his chocolate got in the peanut butter. Next thing we know, that dog was pregnant and had puppies. And the only dog around was the Chihuahua, and the Rottweiler was the mama. So we know the mama was, it's full-blooded Rottweiler was the mom.
don't
So
worry, Terry. We got something new for you later, okay? But I'm not trying to be graphic or anything, but like right now we're talking about how a Rottweiler fucks a Chihuahua, Terry. If you want to join in this conversation, I was thinking they must need a couch or something, or somebody had to have held it. That don't like a Chihuahua can't reach a Rottweiler. It's
I
just not
think she had
possible.
to lay down or bent down or scooted down or
Something had to. I don't know. I would like to see a pic. Can you please text me a picture of that dog sometime? I'm
yes,
so
I will
curious.
put
Like,
them all on there. So
and
we
then
got
the
two of those
babies.
puppies.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't the other way around
I don't
because
think she
that
could
wouldn't
have
have.
had it. Yeah,
She would have
she would have,
died.
yeah.
And those
Yeah.
babies must have been tiny as hell, right?
I don't know. They were born down in New Mexico at Ted's mom's house. And I thought it was from my
Oh, so you got Mexican dogs?
yes, New
That's
Mexico. Yeah.
cool.
Her
That's
name's
pretty cool.
Chiquita. And when we first got her, we got her from Ted's dad because
Chiquita!
along like she's gonna have a fit. We got her from Ted's dad.
Chiquita! Chiquita,
And
Chiquita! Sorry.
she didn't know any English. He'd always talk to her in Spanish.
Oh,
So I'm like,
shit. Oh, your
so
dog's bilingual. That's pretty cool.
she might be, or that maybe that's why she ignores the shit out of me. She still doesn't learn. I don't
A
know.
chihuahua. What do you call that? A chihuahua?
A Chihuahua, yeah. They look like just weird weenie dogs. I mean, they're not long like a weenie dog, but they're short and stocky, but they're real stocky. I mean,
I'm
Edith is the fat one, she's real fat like me and chubby.
I'm sorry, guys, about this whole little spiel about me and this dog. I just got like really, it was a thing in my mind. I had to like, I can't take it.
Good morning,
That's just a
Aaron.
weird concept. Can you please send me a picture of it later
I
anyway?
absolutely will. I absolutely will.
I'm so
Okay, back to
curious.
the video.
All right, back to the shell spell. Sorry,
So
guys.
I can't find the shell spell, but the shell
It's my
spell made me
brain.
wonder what the hell did they talk about? Guys, quit.
A Rottweiler.
Just a minute. Let me get them under control.
Oh shit. Her dog is bilingual. That's some funny shit. Constance has a bilingual dog.
Stop it, you two. Now calm down. Go to the other room and do it.
All
You only
right,
get
so
one
Terry
room.
Southern Girl says her father-in-law had a dog that was part German Shepherd and part Wiener dog. Man, I know it's just funny how the genetics can work like that sometimes. But
Yep.
I know if it's the mom that's the smaller dog, that could sometimes be dangerous or require surgeries or
Yeah, if it was the other way around, yeah. But that was the only culprit in the, around.
I've never heard of
So,
a mix like such a difference in size. That's why I like went off on
mhm.
a thing about it because I never heard of a dog so big mating
They're
with
like,
one that was so small.
they come up to my ankle, maybe mid calf, not
Mm,
up to my knee anyway. And they're kind of
yeah,
stocky. Chiquita's stocky. Eve's just fat.
she's probably like a badass beefed up Chihuahua that's gonna
Yes.
fuck shit up.
Yes. And she's black. And then Edith is brown. The
Oh,
one that
that's
doesn't
cool.
speak English is black.
The one that doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
Yo quiero. Okay, sorry.
I kept saying "Cállate," to be quiet, or "Vámonos," go away. But I don't know if I'm saying
Oh
it right
my
or
God,
not.
this just gets even better.
Okay, let's get through this in case you want to go. You want to go over Mama T. Okay, so I've seen
I
the shell
got
spell, and I wondered what the hell did he talk to him about that made him want to protect him. So I found this video, and it
Hey
was
Audrey.
an
Oh
eye
my
opener.
God, I'm dead with
Hey,
this dog
Audrey.
shit. If you all rewind a few minutes, it might be funny.
It is funny if you see.
5 or
I
10
should
minutes.
send you the pictures. Okay, this was, I'm going to put the link in there. This is under fair use. I'm going to do this
Fair use,
under
fair use,
use.
fair use, fair use. There, you're covered.
There's the link if y'all want to go over and give Bandit a view and a like and subscribe if you want to. Not trying to scream out of any views. I just had to comment on this because I just had to comment on this. You're going to need more coffee. Yeah.
Yep.
It was just mind blowing. But I'll leave the chat up. You can see the whole chat is over there going, what the hell? The whole chat is not having it. Even his mods were not having it.
Do you think maybe, well, since I haven't seen it yet, do you think maybe it was simple as so that nobody beats him up in prison? Is that what it is? Kind of a spell? Like there might be.
No, he said that he did a reading, and in his reading, he got a message that somebody was going to interfere in Ernie's case. And I said, interfere as in,
yeah,
you can't interfere in a case. If you turn stuff into the county, or what we call it the county attorney, the prosecuting attorney, if you turn evidence into him and he uses it, that is not interfering in a case. That is, you had a tip and you helped the case.
But to some perception, it's all about that perception. Some perceive it as interference. So which one was it? Well, was it truly interference?
Right. And my way of gauging that would be if the prosecuting attorney used it, it must have relate to the case. Because if it don't relate to the case, they're not going to use it. You can't interfere in a case unless it relates.
Well, due to how the spell was said, I don't know much about those spells, but could it have been a protection against an interference, a true interference? An interference could have meant the other way around too. It could have been someone trying to help to get him off, so that could be an interference. So it's all how you perceive the interference, right? So would the spell still work that way?
I'm not a spell person, but he said he wanted to protect Ernie. It was to protect Ernie. In fact, somebody said in the chat, "Do you have a spell to protect his victims?" And he didn't say anything, but it's not like we. And he says, "Oh, I know Ernie's no saint. He's no angel." What do you mean he's no saint, no angel? He is a predator. Them 3 videos. If we didn't have billions of more videos to prove it, those 3 videos right there prove it. So, yeah, it needs to go to the right person, the prosecuting attorney. And if he wants to use it, he uses it. If not, no. So, okay, let's play this.
That's just my opinion. He joined these Facebook groups.
It starts with them talking because there was music before, copyrighted. So he just came in right at halfway talking.
Well, for something to be fake like that at the time.
Sarah's over here going, he gone.
Well, as soon as I got in there on the premiere last night, I was just channel surfing. And I found that, and it's the first thing I said. Yeah, you're right. He gone. It's just fun to say.
Everybody in chat was like not having none of it. I don't think there was anybody who would support it.
I think somebody got mad.
Could have been.
I was just trying to be funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Think about it. There had to be like a coming out with his agent pretty much, or publicist said, hey, there was a press package. There had to be a press package for them to even report on it.
Let me ask you this, Ernie. Have you looked into Nugan?
Just a little bit what we talked about. I didn't get much today. Be able to look into it, but yeah, that's another group. It's another, it's like with maps and stuff like that. And they're probably all.
Sarah says, "Hey, Holly Dolly, remember when this was live and he was so mad we found him on Rumble?"
Yeah, he was. And then one by one, people started to drift in there by themselves.
Yep.
Affiliated, to be honest with you.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah.
And see Nugan, because I'm asking that because Sandy said, "Can?"
And I asked him for his email right up here. I said, "Can I have your email?" Because I wanted his permission to go over this or invite him to do it. But he never got back to me, so we're just going to cover it and use.
You recap on the other organizations. There's more than just MAPS, Nugan, and NAMBLA, but those are the main 3. But to answer your question, Sandy, the other one was Nugan and MAPS.
Now pay attention to how Bandit covers it as compared to how Ernie covers it. Bandit is stating the facts, just telling the story. Ernie's over here grinding in his seat, all excited. I mean, just hyper, like he's like they say when serial killers relive their killings, they get like this. Watch how enthralled he gets.
People are coming in. They're waking up. Hey, Team Rose. Hey, Voices.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in.
It's older.
That's an
It's an older
acronym
video,
that they're
Team
trying
Rose.
to say is minor attract.
It's from 11
Well, it
hours
posted
ago.
last night. It posted last
Yeah.
night, but the original content is from Rumble a few days prior.
Oh man, I just left my flashlight on my phone and it is hot as hell. Just okay. I'll push play.
No problem.
Person or people.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing I was looking at some of the files last night. I noticed that they moved a lot of the pedophilia signs. I couldn't recover those. Was you able to recover those?
Now he was looking at the files last night, and they moved the pedophilia signs. Moved them from where?
The GLs. I know we found the BLs, the LBLs, but the GLs, I didn't see the GLs anymore.
I didn't see it. No.
I couldn't. I mean, and used to, you could just like boom, boom, boom. You could find it anywhere. It was actually public knowledge.
Now, about this time, I'm going to ask for volunteers. I'm going to need probably 10 or 15 up because I was fact checking this. And the first time I had to Google something, I was a little weary. The second time I Googled it, I was a little weary. Third, fourth, fifth time, I'm like, I am not Googling all that shit in my browser because it's going to come up. I'm some kind of weirdo.
Yep,
So,
no thanks.
If anybody wants to volunteer to use their browser, that was the first thing I Googled.
Hello, L. Kennedy.
Where would you find the signs of pedophilia? And I guess there is, signs of pedophilia. I'm not disputing that. But how does Ernie know that there's signs of pedophilia? Where did he go to school? Where did he get trained?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I believe he found it on, I think one of the websites, such as a TBI website, maybe, or one of them. They have some information about that stuff, but I don't know if he just took it straight from one of those kind of a websites that they put out warning against it, or where exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to, I wouldn't know exactly, but I'm certainly not looking any of that shit up. I don't want none of that in my browser, none of that weird shit. No dildos in the yardo in my browser. Nope, none of it.
I'm glad you said that. Dildos in the yardo. Bandit said, he goes, if you want to make the spell more binding, get some hair, or even, I won't say where he said to get the blood from a woman, but he said get blood. And I'm like, why would you want Ernie's blood? And then somebody said, there's plenty of DNA on those dildos he left behind.
That's true right there. Some of those been turned in as it is.
Because I had forgot all about it. But yes, he said blood from a woman would be more binding.
You know what? Depending on what's on the flash drives, we don't know, so we'll just say we can't really say anything is. But pending what's on those flash drives, and if don't get wrong or offended, I'm saying if there were any crimes on the flash drives, I would wonder if those dildos in the yardos then might actually be tested, because
maybe
if there's any linkage in the flash drives, that is, because you don't know what DNA is on there or anything.
It was a white magic witchcraft protection spell for Ernie during court.
Which we talked about in the beginning of this. A lot, actually. I never heard of that.
FBI used to have a list of them after WikiLeaks came out and stuff in relation to it. I haven't looked into it lately. I know I am scared to. What was the goal of the spell? To protect Ernie from interference in his court case and to protect Ernie through his court journey. Bandit's from here. Bandit TV. Isaac is his name. I'll put the link in.
So they call it White Warlock?
He said he was a warlock, but he said he did white magic, so I don't know. Bandit is on Ernie's side. Yes. I liked Bandit too, but I just can't imagine what made him go from, because he said he talked to him. He said it humanized him. Okay, I mean, I don't know how you can talk to him. You can forget all the creepy ass shit he's did, but
That
yeah,
he reported on,
yeah.
that he covered. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I'll roll with it.
Okay, there's that. Now I'll play some more.
Now it's kind of like deep down in hid. I did find a Los Angeles County Sheriff's badge has the BL sign in it. So
interesting.
Okay, so he said the Los Angeles Sheriff's County badge has the BL sign in it. So I did Google that. And that is a little triangle swirly thing. Now, it is in there. It is on their badge. But might
Who
it mean
fucking would
something else?
advertise that shit? I just don't get
Right.
it.
And if Ernie
Any of
knows
those
about it, other people know about it, the sheriff department isn't going to put it right on their badge, but maybe they did. But what if it means something else? I didn't want to Google it. That was 2 things in less than how many minutes? We are
Well,
11
maybe they
minutes
took
in.
it off something else. That, I mean, it's a pretty. It's not like some intricate design that can't be on other things. Maybe they took it so it would blend in more. You know what I mean? If it's a
Let
real thing that
me.
they. Who sits there and tells other people like this is what I like? Why would you fucking even put that on your body or
Let me see if
advertise that
I
anywhere? It
can
makes no
find it.
sense to me. Who would? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Any of it really.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sky. I don't want any of that in my shit. Nope.
I'm gonna
I
put
think
it.
I missed another hello in here. I'm trying to scroll up. Somebody else said hi. Rumor has it. Hello.
Okay.
And also, L. Kennedy came in too.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, now it says page not found. Well, I don't know what to call it.
Did you see what Ash says?
Uh-uh.
She says, to me, Ern is the danger, so doing a spell of protection for him will end up biting Bandit in the ass.
Oh.
Can you mess them up? Can they, like, reverse and stuff? These are the things
That's
I
what
don't
I
know.
said. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, here it is. Maybe I can
That's
make
what
this
I'm
big.
talking about, long gone. That's been in my brain for a while. I can't, I mean, it's either absolved, nothing, or something. It could be something, and that's what makes us wonder. Plus, we don't know what the hell's on the flash drives.
Can you see this page right here? Let me see if I can make it bigger.
Oh, the trunk video. Thank you for reminding me, same day. I did forget. I'm sorry. I do have some pretty severe EDD.
Do you see that little triangle there that goes, it's a triangle and a triangle and a triangle? See where it's red circled here?
Well, I'm just trying to zoom it in. Oh, I can zoom it in. Wow. Let me see. Let's see. Excuse me. It's kind of all right. So it's not the best pixels, but I think that's just part of the. Is it reaching or is it there? Because it's now when you look at the points of a star, and if you're just tracing around it, it's going to be that shape naturally, anyways.
There. Now can you see it better?
Oh, I do see it. But the point of the matter is the outside is a triangle anyways. You've got the
Yeah.
points of the star, so if you're going to trace and do all those line work, you're just following the natural design, which ends up making it a triangle because it is a triangle. It's triangular in shape. So is that just random?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. I didn't want to Google it. I just Googled the badge. But I
So
didn't
that
want
would
to say
be inferring that all the freaking police are pedos. Come on, they're just advertising
in
it.
Los
I'm a
Angeles.
pedo.
Yeah. All
I
the Los
mean,
Angeles was, to
that
pedos.
would be reaching in my opinion. That's just absurd, but I
Oh,
mean,
now I got to share the screen again.
but has anyone confronted them and said, hey,
Oh, I'm
is
sure.
it only that badge or is it all badges? Don't they all look like that or no? Or is
Nope.
it
That's
just
just the design on their badge so far that I
okay?
know. But I didn't, we're 11 minutes in and I have 3 things that were pedo related that I didn't want to Google.
I see what you're saying. We want the results, but we're not going to Google it.
Right. And so if somebody wanted to be brave and,
We're not willing to put it on our shit.
yeah, I didn't want to. So here we go. That's 3 things in 11 minutes.
It took a little longer
and
than
there's
expected to transport him. So he was in. All right, let me think. When I was at the beach, well, I've been at the beach actually a lot. One of the times I was in the beach in the last couple days, they were still trying to get him. They were still going to get him. It just took a little longer than they thought. That's the last update I knew of.
I think that's about what I heard too.
I mean, he might even be gone now.
When you're talking about these organizations, their members, that a lot of these members are politicians and higher up people.
That's the only way they can get it done. Get the laws passed through the politicians. That's the only way they can actually even, exist. That's really why they are.
What law have you heard anybody try to pass? Think of your own lawmakers or any other lawmakers. What law have you heard try to get passed to where pedophilia would be legal? How long do you think a guy would stay in his career would be in politics if he tried to say, I'm Senator Bob and I want you to pass a law legalizing pedophilia?
Weird.
It doesn't happen. But Ernie's jibber jabber. That's what he's saying. It's happened.
I think it's just random L. Kennedy because of the shapes of because you look at the points on the star, it literally just follows the line work in the star. It's going to make that. I don't know. I think it's reaching too, but
yeah, he'll explain that symbol here in a second.
People.
That's the only way they can get it done. Get the laws passed through the politicians. That's the only way they can actually even, exist. That's really why they only exist. It's because of politicians.
Pedophiles only exist because of politicians. Okay.
Because
only exist because of, okay.
Yep. And politicians exist because that's the only way they can exist to get laws passed. What? This is what I want to ask.
That's the weirdest shit I ever heard.
Right. That's what I want to ask Bandit. Bandit, did you not hear him? Did you not question him? Like, what do you mean, Ernie? What are you talking about?
Maybe he has ADD too. I don't know. That's some weird ass shit.
I think he's just letting him ramble. We'll hear later.
Could be. Could be too.
Shut it down. But politicians keep it up because of the law and the lawmakings.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, yeah.
They advocate for Nugan. Sandy advocates for NAMBLA. They're the ones that try to push their agenda.
You're correct.
Yeah.
But what they try to do is they see a law that's passed, and then they try to go into that law and say, well, hey, wait a minute, this law's passed. Why can't we get our law passed? That's because it's...
So NAMBLA sees a law and says, hey, they're getting their law passed. Why can't we get our law passed?
On the same verge of it, and then they try to tail back off that other law that's passed.
And then they try to tail back off that other law that was passed.
And when they do that, they usually get it passed.
So when they do that, they usually get it passed. What the fuck did that even mean? I'll rewind and play it without talking. So get the.
I don't think Constance minds Charlotte. Oh, sorry. Now I'm going to do it.
No, go ahead.
That's all.
You're correct.
Yeah.
But what they try to do is they see a law that's passed, and then they try to go into that law and say, well, hey, wait a minute, this law's passed. Why can't we get our law passed? Because it's on the same verge of it. And then they try to tail back off that other law that's passed. And when they do that, they usually get it passed. Like some states pass that law.
Your first question would be, what the fuck are you talking about?
Weird.
I mean, what? What? Hi, everybody coming in that I missed. Then you have Genevieve over here saying he has never had any idea on how a real investigation reporter works. Oh, this is because they were saying right at the part that cut off that Mark Zuckerberg was in NAMBLA. Is that what it's called? NAMBLA?
NAMBLA.
They said that's why Zuckerberg fixed Facebook. It used to be that your friends could put you in any group you wanted to, and somebody put Mark Zuckerberg in the group, thinking it'd be funny. Ha ha. Well, now people think Mark Zuckerberg was really in NAMBLA. So
all originating from Facebook?
Yeah, because someone
I used to see a lot of misinformation over there. It drove me nuts. I kind of like rage quit the place, actually.
Me too.
You'd see like those parent groups and then like all the other groups. One person would put something, and then before you know it, it spread to it was the craziest shit of misinformation.
It was the politics. Like, I'm really not, too into politics. I vote, but I got so tired of my people on the left thinking I was too far right, people on the right thinking I was too far left, and nobody liked me.
I wouldn't talk about any of that. I can picture that with you, but I just kept the politics to myself because it causes like real friendship divides and shit. It's insanity.
and it was some of the people that I work for. So I'm like, you know, don't want to say nothing, but
exactly.
we just quit going because it was too much.
Or those copy and paste shares, like one thing of misinformation, and then before you know it, it's got 20,000 shares, and everyone's
Right.
going around saying it. Those are the ones. Those used to bug the shit out of me too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it. That's how they tell back on it and everything. That's why I guess it's the LGBTQ. They don't want them in the, they're always trying to. I was reading up on it. I was actually doing a little bit of studying on it. They're always trying to push their way in, but they're pretty much saying no, and they're not letting them come in. So
what? They're trying to push their way in, but they're saying no. So I guess NAMBLA wanted to come into the LGBTQ, and they're saying no. I think I got that right.
Alrighty then.
That's a good thing. That's really a good thing.
Well, yeah, and they've been trying to, upon my research, I think that NAMBLA back in the 80s, they were trying to affiliate themselves with pride celebrations. And even back in the 80s, you have members of the LGBT community saying, we don't want you here. You're not affiliated with us, But it creates a negative stigma for the LGBT community, because when people, they think of, that community, they think of pedophiles being associated or affiliated with it,
Well, you look at NAMBLA's logo. Have you seen the cartoon logo-ish thing, the anime logo they have?
It's different than the triangle one, right?
Yeah.
How is there even a group? I don't even understand it.
The little kids make it.
I don't. Yeah.
Who goes around sharing this information with others? We're part of a group. Let's celebrate. We're disgusted.
It's out there, but I didn't want to Google it. But I know that NAMBLA is a thing.
Well, who goes around sharing? I just don't understand these people and the concept of it. That we're going to go share it with each other and talk about how much of a freak we are
and lobby the legislature. I mean, who's going to do
weird.
that? I mean, I might be naive, but I don't know.
Herbert fuck.
Pretty much in an anime, right?
Let me try to pull this up.
As soon as you pull it up, you're going to see their logo. And that's how they get away with their logo. Anytime your logo has to be anime or a cartoon, just to pull a loophole on the law to keep from being pedophilia.
So, I Googled that. That I did Google. Is anime... First, I Googled, is Mark Zuckerberg a member of NAMBLA? But then I said, is anime...
That probably popped right up.
It said that they said about a group, but now I can't find it. But I said, is anime legal for child porn? Because that's what he's saying. He's saying, if you have child porn as anime, it's legal. And it said, the hell no, it's not legal. I did look that one up. So how far are we in? We are in 14 minutes, and we're up to 5 or 6 questions that I really didn't want to Google.
You should make a list of all the things you don't want to Google.
I should have, but it's going to get long, because it wasn't that.
Yeah, that's true.
11 minutes into 2 hours.
Fair enough. Wow. Okay.
But it's creepy as hell. Like, how does he know all this? How does he know all this? That's your first thing. How does he know all this? He knows it from his training. Where was he trained?
Did he read it on the internet?
Yeah, did he read it on the internet? Where did he read it on the internet? Show me, Ernie. Where did you learn all this? That's all I've ever asked him. Where did you learn all this? Is your teaching up to date? How do we know what you're talking about? Or are you the creepy pedo that's in these groups under the disguise of being a predator? If you can't show me your training or your credentials, I'm putting you in the pedo group, especially based on those 3 videos we watched.
Mm-hmm.
That's just common sense.
Well, here's another question I have before I forget. It's not really related, but about Bandit. So I kind of wish Tina or anybody, Debo or them were here, because something caught my attention that I keep forgetting to ask people. When she did her live, she did her emotional live. I think it was that one or the one before it. She had mentioned that they're going after certain people next. And one of them was Bandit, and I don't know I forget what she said the reason is, but and that he's turned into, does anyone know what types of accusations that have been said in the past or anything like that, or what he could be gone after for. I'm not saying I believe everything. I want to know what the accusation is, like, if that makes sense. That's all before I forget. And then before I also forget with my UDD brain, there's been requests a few times in the chat for you to play that clip of the trunk one where the lady is crying and her mouth is muffled and he's
I don't
pounding and
have
saying
that
shut the
one. I
fuck
don't
up,
know.
because that one scares the fuck out of me.
I don't know who has that one. I don't know where it's at. I've seen it,
Damn.
but
I
it's not
bet
in my list.
Oh, I bet maybe even L. Kennedy knows, because I think, was it her or Green Eyes? Maybe Green Eyes played it. One of them played it, I think.
If someone could tell me where to look, or put it in back
I'll
chat.
watch the chat. I'll watch the chat
Yeah.
to see if anyone answers that.
Okay. Now we're back to this dude.
Tina believes he's a member of NAMBLA. Okay, fair enough. I was just wondering what the thoughts were there.
Now, the way Isaac is approaching this, he's approaching it from a reporter. I mean, he looks like he's reporting about it. The way Ernie was doing it, he's just different. I mean, you'll just want to watch.
Yeah, he seems to be doing an interview kind of a thing.
But
Yeah,
like he's reliving it like a serial killer does. You know, when he's telling about his death, you know, the kills, how he, you know, they love to relive it, like BTK did in court. Excuse me, when BTK had to, you know, his final say, he relived every one of those murders, and he told all the details. It was like it wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Ernie's telling all these details, just like he did with the little boy in the bathroom.
Murder Benton says, Prosecutor Sue, what up with $5? Thank you for that.
Hey, thank you, Murder Mitten. Yeah, he calls me Prosecutor Sue because, do you talk with that passion about everything? I said, yes, I do.
Yes, she does.
I sure do. Yep. Especially when it comes to this crap. Okay, we'll
remember anyone in the chat, if you know where we can get the clip where Ernie had the woman tied up and he was really swearing and freaking out, and it felt like he was supposed to mute out and shut his camera off. That's how I took it. And there was a lady in the back of a truck or something, a trunk, and she was pounding on it, crying like she was like she had a sock in her mouth or something. You could barely understand. You know, she was definitely gagged.
They said it was a skip from the new video, but everybody don't believe
I don't
that.
think so. That felt real as fuck. And if anyone knows where we can get that clip, I know I saw it on one of the clip channels. I thought it was L. Kennedy or Behind Green Eyes. If anyone can write it, I am watching the chat still.
Okay.
Okay. L. Kennedy doesn't have it. Okay.
Check that out.
Now this is Nugan, right?
NAMBLA.
Okay, NAMBLA.
Notice he keeps going over to would be his right or his left. I don't know. He keeps going that way. And see, when he goes that way, he's getting a drink.
So these are the ones, yeah, this is what we were talking about. Also butterflies as well.
Right.
See, I can't pull it up on screen.
See, there's the first one up there. That's the symbol that's on the police badge. That triangle that's in the triangle.
Mandy Cat. Good thing you did.
Can you see that one on there? Or let me take this down. The blue triangle, that's what's on the sheriff's badge. In each one of the triangles on the star, it has a little triangle. Now, this one right here, that's a wiggly, that's supposed to be young boys. The butterfly and the heart, those are all pedophilia symbols, according to Ernie and Bandit. And I'm not saying they're not. But if Ernie and Bandit know they are, now we know they are, who's going to put that symbol on there? You might as well just put out in typing, I'm a pedo.
That's what I mean. Like, who goes around wearing or advertising that? Like, then if everyone's aware of it with our general awareness, then we're going to see the symbol and beat somebody up or something. But you
And
have to know.
How current is that? Is that 2016 symbols? Surely they update them every so often because now, like, the world knows about them now. So are there new symbols? What was your last training? What are the new symbols, Ernie? And how do you know the new symbols?
Yeah, do they change them frequently? That's another question.
Yeah. I mean, all questions I would ask if I was Bandit.
So Savannah actually puts up videos like that? I had no idea she did that.
Truth Troll said those were on the FBI list. What FBI list?
Yeah, the pictures, the symbols. I thought it was on the I remember seeing some on the TBI, but FBI, that makes sense.
Do you Google FBI pedophile symbols?
No, it's in the. No, I think it's just gives you some general awareness, like warnings type stuff.
But how do you know? Why do you know where to look for it?
I think if you scan the website, you'll find the tabs, and they'll be there somewhere. For children protection, I don't know, awareness type stuff.
Okay, and if they're old, are they still using them? And just how often do pedos update it?
Oh, he has the audio.
Huh.
What happened to the video?
I'll let you watch.
I would go look for. I would go look for it, but I don't want to drop right this second. I feel like maybe Behind Green Eyes has it.
Screen share because my computer is shut off. But
there's the GL. That's the GL sign, LGL right there. There's the BL and then the LBL sign.
Oh, the BL is the boys, and this one over here is young boys.
On the corner there, the circle spring.
Now, Ernie, you said that when they're pink, that means little girls.
That's
okay.
Girls, little girls.
Okay.
Yes.
Notice how the boys are like blue and neon green. You see that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what we call that when I was doing the task force stuff with the triangle, that's called the triangle within a triangle with the in and out because it comes going.
The trap when he was doing the task force stuff.
Yeah.
Now we know he never did task force stuff. Now, so Bandit, wouldn't you at least approach him like, "Oh, Ernie, what task force were you on?" Nope.
And going out. That's the BL sign. That's the boy lover sign. And the one over from it, the offset triangle, that's the same shape. It looks like a little spring. It's called the LBL, which is the little boy lover.
See,
that means that's sick. That's sick.
This is the worst one right here.
Yes, that's pretty much. But most of them are into the regular triangle one, the BL.
I don't get those symbols. Look at that constant. I mean, look at the bottom right one. All it is two hearts.
And then
you're gonna see that everywhere on everything. You're gonna see that on all kind of little girl stuff, and you know what I mean. They're hearts.
And what? God forbid your little girl colors a butterfly that color, and you put it.
And yeah, you've seen butterflies made out of hearts in child's drawings from art class and shit. And I don't know.
I can see teaching awareness if this is what the FBI teaches, and if this is where they learned it was from the FBI. But you also have to say, here's a caveat. Not every squiggly line.
Right.
Not every butterfly. Not every heart. Use your discretion. You know, but what the extremist, there was a word that I was going to write down. I didn't. Extremist something, meaning people like Ernie and also, you know, Tina even, everything to them is pedophilia. Everything they look at is pedophilia. If you do something against it, you're into pedophilia. That's extremist thinking. And that's why extremists probably shouldn't teach a class. You have to have a little bit of balance, I think.
55 to 75.
It's disgusting.
It's very disgusting.
It's repulsive. So let me ask you, before I told you about this, did you encounter any members of NAMBLA or these the sting operations, excuse me, that you've went on? Did you ever find out that any of those people were affiliated with these organizations?
No, because it's kept so. Okay, so here's the thing: when we done it in Tennessee, of course.
Okay, I'm just so confused already. I got to rewind that.
Did you? So let me ask you. Before I told you about this, did you encounter any members of NAMBLA or these the sting operations? Excuse me, that you've went on. Did you ever find out that any of those people were affiliated with these organizations?
Oh, so he's asking him about all the stings he's been on. Did he find out if anybody was in NAMBLA? Now we know. What do we know about the stings he's been on? Tina, her own self, said Ernie never did any of them. It was Tina and Xander. Ernie didn't meet Tina and Xander till what, 2020? 2019 maybe? Ernie's telling him that he was on the task force in 2017. So Ernie was under President Trump, task force, doing these stings. Proof, sir? Do you have proof? No proof. Zero proof. He's just a creep.
Well, that makes sense, Genevieve.
What'd you say?
It's a few comments up.
Oh, right here, this one.
I can't tell if it's pinned.
He talks about the
I think it's her only
logo.
comment.
There's one.
No, it's the one that says, "Oh, for Pete's sake!" It's near the bottom.
Oh, maybe I haven't gotten her yet. He talks about NAMBLA logo and eats tons of little Debbie cinnamon rolls. I don't know. I'll watch it play and we'll see.
No, because it's kept so. It's okay. So here's the thing: when we done it in Tennessee, of course, the TSA code
For the
or
reality
the TCA code wouldn't let us do certain things, so we couldn't pretty much join up with law enforcement to be able to do further investigation. Obviously.
Now, why do you think that is? Why do you think Tennessee said, "No way, Jose, we don't want people being extremist and going rogue and going out there hooking up pedophiles if you think everybody's a pedophile"? You see why Tennessee might say no? I think there'd be a good reason for that.
So our investigation happened right there on the screen as we had our decoys. That was pretty much the investigation. You know, at the time, I mean, NAMBLA never really even came up because all we was
Here's some jewelry he's going to show.
doing. Yeah, there's the jewelry. That's the jewelry. But all we
I've had that necklace. I know I've had that necklace. It's been a long time ago, but I know that I've had a necklace like that before. Probably every little girl has.
Yep.
Have you seen it before, Sarah?
That's a pretty common looking necklace. I would never think twice about that, unless maybe I saw it on a man, I guess.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Did that stand out like a sore thumb anyway? So you might as well just
But
write.
then that could be judgmental of me to say that also, because
True.
maybe they just like heart. So it would depend on the situation.
Yep. It's something to keep your eyes aware for, but
Yeah.
not automatically assume.
Don't automatically assume, but yeah, be
Yeah.
watchful.
was really doing at that time was catching the predator. We would hook 2 or 3 hooks in them, and
See you, Shar.
at the end we would. Here's the thing about it. At the end, we would hook the 4th hook in them when they said, because we'd give them a chance to get off one of those hooks. And what we would do is we would be like, "Are you sure you're wanting? Because you have to do this. You have to do this. Are you sure you're wanting to, go through this? Are you sure it's okay that I'm 13 or I'm 12, whatever the decoy's age was at the time?" And they would be like, "Look." Usually the simple answer was, "Age is just a thing. We don't care about age. Age is however old you feel." That's usually their answer, to be honest with
Can
you.
you pause that for 1 sec, please?
Yep.
So Smiley Miley, as far as I believe what they were previously before I got here, I think they said that part 1 was there, but maybe part 2's missing. He did a part 1 and a part 2, I guess, is what Constance was saying last night.
Part 1 is 3 hours long. Part 2 is just like 30 minutes. It said shell spell.
We're looking for part 2 of Shell Spell.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And else said she had one too. Sky said those necklaces were everywhere. Right. Okay. Back to.
Wow.
We would be like, okay. And then here's the thing. You are not allowed to say, where do you want to meet at? Because that's enticement. That's enticement automatically. They have to be the one that pretty much approaches you always. You cannot be the first one who messages them first. They have to be the one. So what we would do with their decoys, we would take someone, we would use apps, we would take their face and make them younger, make them look a little younger, that where they would fit whatever the criteria was. But the person we was using, that was always over 21 anyways. Always, one of our team members or somebody else that volunteered to help, and, but it was all through law enforcement and Department of Homeland Security at that time when we was doing it. And they would tell, we would already have enough information. The hooks was already set. It's just like when you watch Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator. The hooks was already set in these guys. They had these guys online, everything. So all we had to do is do our part. it was already filed. Everything was already filed in law enforcement. Now, the trick was, what got us in trouble is the DA of that place, the DA of a certain area. Gatlinburg worked with us. Peter
Okay,
Ford worked
thanks.
with us.
Thank
Gatlinburg
you.
worked with us.
Oh,
But when it
sorry.
come
Can
down
you
to
stop that
Detroit,
for one
Tennessee,
sec? I don't think I have Genevieve's. I don't think I have her channel. But right now I'm in the StreamYard, so I won't be able to find it till the end. But I suppose I could catch it on the replay. And I will check that after. Maybe it's the channel we were looking for, the replay. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Oh, I see now where you see Genevieve's comment on Mike's thing. So
Yep.
she's going to post a link to where we can learn this.
Yeah, she's got links on her community tab, and there's many.
Do you think that's where Ernie learned it? There's Genevieve's link. Do you think that's where Ernie learned it? I think did you work with Ernie a little bit, Genevieve, or just did he say you were? I remember something about it. He blames you for giving a kid back to a abuser or something. I don't know. But now I'm not saying that everybody that does these pedophile things are a predator. But when you watch the 3 videos, like we started this off with,
excuse me,
Ernie will not tell you where he learned anything. Now you could post the links where you learned it, but why won't Ernie tell anybody where he learned all this? So might he have learned all this by being a participant instead of a predator hunter? Yeah. And Night Owl gets that when it plays here in a little bit, though. Because I have a point to make about that. And see, in this part right here, Genevieve says the code that they broke in Tennessee was Tennessee Code annotated 39-16-301, criminal impersonation. That's what they broke in Tennessee.
The DA would not have anything to do with it. They would not prosecute these guys. It was just catch and release.
Caught Ernie transporting a
and
stage
that's what
rescue.
Yeah.
So Ernie, you said that before in the past, you said that just common law enforcement, they're not familiar and educated on what the stuff that you talk about.
So that was something else I wanted to Google. Is law enforcement trained in child predators, child trafficking, pedophilia? Well, there was that word I had to put in there, pedophilia again. And I'm already, already up to 8 now?
Al Kennedy has the video.
Where's it
Well,
at?
she tagged me in it, so what I would have to do while I'm up here, let me think. I think I have to, I can't get my notifications. The only way I would do it is if I have it ready and then take the link, right? Or
Maybe
come
if
up
I
and
go
share.
to El Kennedy.
Yeah, that's true. She just tagged me in it.
Okay, it's going to be on our community tab.
There's a lot of times people have looked for that video, so thanks.
There it is.
Might have to save that one. Put it in my saves.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in my creep list.
So was it Behind Green Eyes that had that video?
Yes, it was.
I thought so. I knew.
Here's the link to it. This is Behind Green Eyes. Go give her a review and a like and subscribe if you want to. But now remember the first 3 we watched, and now let's watch this one.
Just weird.
Let's see if you want Ernie to teach in any class that you know of.
Now somebody in chat asked for this twice.
To step away if this isn't something you want to listen to. Yep, he sure does. Sure does. All right, here we go.
Oh yeah! Shut the fuck up!
I hate this one.
Shut up!
Yeah, me too, Ash. I don't see the person that asked for this video in chat now. We're watching the Ernie video where he, the sketchy one.
Okay. It says, that is a recording that Mamet received of Ernie in a video with a woman crying in the background in a trunk.
Clearly gagged and crying and pounding on the door or trunk or whatever she's trapped in.
Yeah. It says, she says that it wasn't her leader of the Tiglets, Ernie Shell.
Everybody has different feeling on it. To me, it doesn't feel fake.
But whoever gave her that clip is 100% misleading her and the rest of the Tiglets. You see, that was a slowed down version.
Oh, really, Mr. Nobody? Yeah, the real original version scared the fuck out of me.
It said, here is the original version with the video showing Ernie in it.
If you watch his face, he looks really mean and a different kind of Ernie. He looked pissed and angry, and it scared me. You have to see his face.
Video of a woman in the trunk of his vehicle. I think it was an accident that this was caught. So
yeah, I understand.
I'm surprised it was never deleted.
Hell yeah! Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! Quit beating the fucking wall!
You guys have never seen that before? Well, it's one of his shorts.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Well, it was turned in, that dude.
Different person I ever seen. Thanks, too legit.
Transporting in a trunk, that's illegal as fuck. Where are the arrest papers? Where is the proof? There are none because that never happened.
I feel like it was a cam slip, and
it's
I don't know. I saw a different kind of evil and anger than I've ever seen on the shows or anything like that. You never see that kind of snapping, and I don't know. It's different. It feels different to me. It's always bothered me, and it's bothered other people too.
It is creepy as hell.
You got to see his face on a bigger screen. You got to see the whole thing. People that have never seen it in chat, make sure you watch it where you can actually see his face and everything.
If you're on your phone, you can take your fingers and pinch it and zoom out. You know, and do it better. But I don't know if you can do it on a laptop or a computer screen. But then you could probably go times 100, 110, 120, you know, zoom in, maybe. But it is creepy. How are you going to explain when you drop off this person then coming out of the trunk?
Yeah, transporting. How are you transporting a woman like that?
Yep, and that's the Pine Green Eyes. So give her a like and a share because we don't want to screw her out of a view. But
no, it sounds like she's gagged. It sounds to me like she's gagged and crying through the gag and pounding for her life. That's why I took it as. And he's telling her to shut the fuck up, and he doesn't want to hear her banging. To me, it sounds like she has a sock in her mouth and tape in her mouth.
But it's a notch. It's only a notch above how we hear him speak to women anyway.
It feels a little more angry.
Yeah, but he's rude to women. He treats women like shit.
Well, I know. Look at how many videos I'm being told about sucking dicks and stuff. But at the same time, some of those I can laugh through because I'm like, whatever, bro. You say that all the time. But this is a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got sent to the police, I believe. I'm pretty sure when Nicolina originally aired it.
Yeah.
I I'm pretty sure it all got turned in. I just don't remember who did it.
And they said it was just a skit for their new movie, something coming up. But
if it's a skit, what are you implying, that he's the person that's kidnapping and not the predator hunter? Because if
I thought he was
if
supposed to be
he's
the
the one
predator.
saving, why would he be driving and telling her to shut up like that? And why is she crying?
And
You don't
bouncing.
transport somebody like that. You don't transport a woman. How are you transporting somebody that you're swearing at like that and they're
I know.
crying and banging in a trunk? None of it makes sense to me.
Yeah,
It
it's all
triggers a lot of people and it feels real to me. And I don't really know how to explain it.
it hits you in the pit of your tummy. Sarah Ash said, "I think I may be on to something."
Sure.
Sarah, would you
Come
be?
on the panel.
Yeah, come on the panel. Yes.
To me, Misty Rose, it sounds like a true cry. Exactly. I feel like I can feel it. And every time I listen to it again, I feel that was real. Just feeling.
It would solve it. Just say who's the girl, and we can ask her.
That does not feel like acting. My feelings say no.
It's creepy any way you go. Okay, let's get back to this
It's
one.
unexplained. How about that? It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
but see, there's no hints of Bandit doing anything like this. That's why Bandit talking about this isn't creepy. Ernie talking about this is creepy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, if he wasn't for all this creepiness, nobody would care that he discussed it like Bandit's discussing it. But it's just creepy. I mean, especially when he can't say where he's been trained, and he's supposed to be the expert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to this.
As far as child trafficking and Dugan and all this other shit.
I told you about some of the classes we had with certain groups. Remember, I was telling you about it. How?
Now, when he says, "Remember, I was telling you about it," I wanted to ask Bandit, did he tell you about it? Because I've seen Ernie say this many times. Remember, I was telling you about it, and people just play along. Yeah, okay. Or do you say, no, Ernie, you didn't tell me about it? But if he did tell you about it, what groups was he telling you about? Because he's never told anybody else about it. So what was he
It
telling you
doesn't make
about?
sense. That's that doesn't show somebody being a hero. That's why it's unexplained.
Yeah, if he could just put the girl in the video and we could, ask her, that would solve it all. But nobody knows who the girl is.
I mean, if you were transporting a predator, I would think if you're doing a skit, you probably would have chose male. I know that there's predator male and woman, but it would have been more understood by the audience, I guess. What I'm saying.
And is the predator going to be a girl crying in the trunk, or would it be like a
Right.
man? I mean, I guess I'm stereotyping.
You wouldn't be allowed to transport if you were even working for an agency. You wouldn't be able to transport anybody like that, crying and gagged. About you know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
exactly why you can't go rogue. That's exactly why you can't go. Because if you did that shit, the whole case would be thrown out. Everybody would be sued. That's why you can't just be a rogue predator hunter. You just can't.
Yeah, I mean, now there's somebody in the chat that he stayed with, and she's even saying that should have gone to the police. I mean, that says something to me that she would even say that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Veronica says, it's nice to see examples of situations happening for real. This could actually help a mother or kid someday. How? Veronica, how? Watching that clip, how's that helping a mother?
If that's what she meant, is that what we're talking about? Is that what the implication is? This video?
I think so. While we're talking about that video, Veronica, clarify for us.
Yeah. Staging things to show examples would be good, but I would like to see how that helps. Exactly.
Let's see, Ernie
We
did
have a woman crying that's banging on a trunk or whatever. She seems to be tied up. Possibly, we can't see that, but it sounds like she is in fear for her life. So how does that help? Does that make sense?
And Veronica, were you here when Ernie did when we played the first video where Ernie did the staging of a scene where it could help, where he faked the little boy being in the bathroom and he lied about it? So do you want someone teaching you that fakes and lies about it? Because then how do you know the real truth? How do you know you're being taught the right thing? Where did he go to school? Okay, we'll push play.
Attention to detail, what you had to do, what you had to be. They only wanted the people that was like really, really attention to detail to this stuff. Law enforcement's 11 to 15% knows anything about child predators, any kind of child crime with
I wanted to Google that, but then again, we're up to like 14 now.
Predators, because they're not trained on it. They don't train them on that. There's certain
If they don't train the police, where do they train Ernie? If they don't train the police, how did Ernie Shell get trained? Did he just stumble upon it? If he got it from the FBI, well, the FBI must know it. So somebody's getting trained. Why would the FBI bother with it if they weren't training anybody? Does that make sense? Why would Ernie Shell, everyday old Ernie Shell, be trained and not the FBI? I mean, police departments. Now, I'm not saying that every police officer was trained, but I'm saying at least they had a task force like ahead of it, of somebody that knew something. Sarah said,
I feel like I heard noise in the background. I heard the car driving and the shh from the air and everything. I feel like it was I don't think it all matched up. If you see the, I mean, like we can't see it well. I'm on my phone, for instance. I don't know about all you, but and that's got screen things over it and everything. When you watch the original clip with the pounding, and it all matches up, the sound and everything. I don't see how that, when you see Ernie pounding and saying shut up, I don't see how that could have been added in because it all matches.
it's only 3 minutes if you want me to play it again.
Well, I'm just trying to like comment on some of the comments in the chat to
Yeah.
try to. It's harder for people probably that are just seeing it now. They're only seeing it on a phone, or they're seeing it with where people have the screen shit on over the top of it.
And you don't want to believe it's creepy, you know? Oh, that's. I was like, where did I got that noise from?
Oh, damn. Damn
I thought I
airplanes.
played it. Okay.
Well, thanks.
techniques now in certain classes they have to go to. But I mean, what's an hour or two class when you've got somebody that's experienced it, been there, seen it, rescued, done these things, and
so now he's saying, what's a 1 or 2 hour class for the police to go to when there's somebody that's been there, seen there, done it? Ernie, you've been there. You've seen it. You've done it. Do you remember what the words you put into Don Wells' mouth? This is one of the things where I took misinformation from the Summer Wells case. Remember when he said, Don Wells said, I've been in them places where kids are child trafficked. Okay, I don't think Don Wells meant that he had been in those places where kids have been trafficked. But if you want to hold Don Wells to those standards, let's replay this and listen to what Ernie said.
to be, they only wanted the people that was like really, really attention to detail.
He's talking about how he got recruited. They wanted the people with the attention to details for these task force. Maybe I better, I don't want to
I think a lot of people woke up, Genevieve. I could see how you could feel that if you seen the stuff right away. But some people, it doesn't work that way. Kind of like what we're seeing now, where some people are waking up. You know what I mean? Be right back.
I've been saying this since the very first day I met him. I mean, when I say met him, was introduced to him when he told Tiffany to move the hair from your jawline. That right there was my creep vibe. I'm like, what? You know, so yeah, it's just taken, it's taken a community effort, and nothing happens fast. And I can't tell you what the one thing was that broke, made it better or made it more aware or what it was. I don't know. I guess we'll have to look at it in retrospect and analyze it later because it's too new to do it now. But I think it's a whole community thing, and I don't know. Yeah, that was, everybody thinks that, I just came to Ernie through Jimbo. No, I seen Ernie do that shit with Tiffany. And then I started saying, who is this guy? And I was, looking at him like, what is he? He's the head of Predator Hunter Nation. What's he do? He's a predator hunter, and he teaches general. That's where my first thing was. He teaches general awareness and situational awareness. How does he teach it? Where does he teach it? Is he a teacher? Does he have a teaching license? And the more I kept asking these questions, I couldn't get any answers to them, which was more red flags and more red flags. You know, then I did go to Jimbo for some questions, but I never took Jimbo's word for everything that I've learned about Ernie. I did my own research. In fact, I did my own lack of research because there was nothing to research about him. I couldn't find anything.
Oh, sorry, I had to leave for a second. Yeah, a lot of it's experiential too.
Yeah.
Once you get targeted, once you become attacked and everything, it's a lot more easy to open your eyes and see shit. And then a lot of stuff falls into place. You can review stuff in the past and say, "Oh my God, this was this." I mean, it's not easy. Also, I mean, hell, I know Constance got targeted a lot. I've been getting targeted a lot, but back then. So if you noticed that in the beginning, Genevieve, I remember him always saying your name, but I really didn't know who you were. There was a couple names that he would always say, Johanna and Genevieve, and I didn't really know either of them.
Yeah, and I haven't even really even got into Genevieve and Johanna's stuff.
Me neither.
I just, you know,
That's why I said I would sub. I don't think I am. If I am, I
I
don't
have them
think
on
I
my
am.
list. I have them on my list to go over their videos, you know, but there's so
Yeah.
many of them.
Oh, so they both put out videos on it?
I think so. I don't know. I know.
I'll check it out.
Genevieve,
It'll be interesting to see now.
Gigi and Dave. I don't know who that is, but they're on my list too because I
Never
know
heard of them.
Yeah, they were early on, but I don't. That was before my time.
What did you say, Gigi and Dave?
Gigi and Dave. Genevieve, do you know who I'm talking about? I think you do.
I've never heard that name.
Let me see if I can. I don't know what the channel was. I have to look on my list.
The guy he caught preying on a child and he had it punched in the mouth. He said he cried like a girl. I don't know, man. I mean, he had to think of a reason, maybe, potentially. Either way, I feel like it should be checked and let somebody else decide that does, you know what I mean, that does
Yeah.
investigations. Because we can speculate all you want. My general feeling is it's not good, whatever was going on in that. I don't know. He could have just made that story up, but it's not for me to decide, only speculate. And my feeling says it bothers a lot of people that have seen it.
Here is Dave and Gigi. Can you see them? Dave and Gigi.
What
And
did Ernie do to Bama? I don't really know that stuff either. That's something I never really.
The bondsman.
Yeah, I don't really know much about that either.
I've got a Bama playlist. Basically, I think he wanted to work with her or something, and then he ended up saying that she went into jail with a weapon, and she got her bounty's license taken away, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah,
I've just heard it mentioned here and there. It's like something I don't know. There's always different facets to this that I don't know.
Yeah. Here's Dave and Gigi. And they have a lot of Candace Wells, Griff, and then Benny.
Oh, Griff, I couldn't believe that stuff yesterday. Insanity.
Do you remember this man if you see him there? And they have a whole bunches.
I don't mean to go off track, but do you know if yesterday, because I didn't hear like the beginning of Mama T's, I don't know how long she was live before I just went in there just to joke around with the chat and stuff. Do you know if she addressed the stuff with the Griff stuff that was presented?
Oh, let me think.
Does anyone see the beginning in the chat and see what did she have anything to respond to? Okay, so I did a live yesterday. I ended up privating it right after because it felt like a disaster live because my audio, when I was trying to play Griff, it wasn't working well. So I didn't want to keep that video up when it was so shitty in the beginning. And then it was sort of like a prequel into Katie's live, and she sort of covered that stuff with the Mama T Griff stuff. But I mean, I wish the sound worked because it would have made more sense if Katie had seen that information too. I kind of explained a lot about that video, but I was just wondering. Oh, she didn't even address it.
I didn't think she did, but I might have. You know, I
that's
kind
weird.
of forgot it. But Jaden said about Bama, he wanted to train her. He wanted to train in her company, and she said no. He has no training, so he tried to ruin her career.
Oh, okay.
I have.
I'm gonna mute out plane again.
That's okay.
Sorry with the planes. I live near the base.
I have a Ernie Shell right here. Ernie Shell Bama Bounty Hunter playlist. It has 2 videos in it, but they kind of explain it. Okay, back to this now.
What got us in trouble is the DA of that place, the DA of a certain area.
Right, I know.
Pigeon Forge worked with us, Gatlinburg worked with us, but when it come down to Newport, Tennessee, the DA would not have anything to do with it. They would not prosecute these guys. It was just catch and release pretty much. And that's what got us, yeah.
So my question to Ernie would be, if you've got all this information on them, instead of going in for the catch, because you know they're not going to get locked up, instead of going in for the catch, why don't you take this information, give it to the police, then let the police do their investigation? Why did you have to take it to one step further where you confronted them knowing that nothing would be done? Because it was all for show. I mean, if you're doing it to stop predators, why wouldn't you just pass the information on to police and let them do their investigation? Instead of
for showing views.
Yeah, that just doesn't.
He's talking about TikToks all the time that had millions of views. I never seen them, so I don't know what he's talking about. But on Bandit's interview, the one we were on in Rumble, the one that was replayed, he went on and on about views for how long, and it just kept coming up again, and stats and all this stuff that I don't even know how to look at. I guess he's into his stuff like that. He's really trying to grow it.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but he just talks about it so much.
Yep. Okay, back to this.
So,
Okay,
Ernie,
so
you
now
said
Katie has
that
one set up.
before in the past, you said that just common law enforcement, they're not familiar and educated on
Mine not worked out today.
what the stuff that you talk as far as child trafficking and Dugan and all this other shit.
I told you about some of the classes we had with certain groups. Remember, I was telling you about it, how attention to detail, what you had to do, what you had to be. They only wanted the people that was like really, really attention to detail to this stuff. Law enforcement's 11 to 15% knows anything about child predators, any kind of child crime with predators, because they're not trained on it. They don't train them on that. There's certain techniques now and certain classes they have to go to. But, what's an hour or two class when you've got somebody that's experienced it, been there, seen it, rescued, done these things, and they're bringing
Not really. We could go over content for like a whole year still if we wanted.
It's just like what you was telling me. Your eyes was open when I was telling you some of the things. I was telling you coordinates right off my mind that I remember being at. I can show you, where the hubs used to be.
Just we know Ernie as the bull. Just the one video, just the one about the kid in the toilet. Betty, how can you take him seriously? We know he wasn't on no task force, and he's sitting here telling you that all these statistics about law enforcement doesn't do this and they don't do this and they don't do this, but he can tell you where the coordinates was and he knew where all the hubs and the hot spots were. Well, then Ernie, why didn't you go tell the police? Why didn't you educate the police? Why didn't you offer to have seminars for the police? Instead of saying you were going to do it on YouTube and everything. Did you ever see a general awareness class, Sarah?
No.
A situational awareness class?
Nope.
An area awareness class?
Nope.
I wondered if I just missed them because they were before my time. I thought maybe he might have done all those and then quit doing them.
There would be like segments. To be fair, there'd be segments sometime, but then it would always veer off into something else. So it wasn't like a real sit down. We're going to go over this, and that, because it would always involve panels, fights. You know what I mean? There'd be other stuff intermingled, so it didn't have that feel of a real class, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There'd be bits and pieces or segments here and there. So to be fair, there was some stuff.
Genevieve said Gigi was used because she was a notary public and could access public information. She was used and discarded. Imagine that. Imagine that.
It never seemed it had a class feel. Yeah, you're right.
The only thing I ever got out of it was time tells all. People tell
signs
on
and symbols. Well, I learned about signs and symbols and skip trace, in which I've actually found them a few times because of learning about it.
Simple as that. Think about it.
Oh, another plane.
That'd be cool to watch those planes, though.
They're doing rounds. I'm sorry. Oh, they come down so low sometimes that I can read the writing on the bottom of the plane. It's kind of freaky.
Okay, here we go.
So they're doing laps. I'll just mute out every time they go over my house.
It's no big deal.
Different things like that. Because at that time, that was my job. That was my career. That was what I did. And it all started with being a detailed security outside Trump Towers in 2017.
Okay, so He said that he was detail security outside of Trump Towers in 2017. That was his job, was to do this child predators. So this is before Tina. He's saying that he did this job before Tina.
Okay. Just for you, 247 says, had a comment about the kid in the bathroom. If you want to look at that.
Where, just for you,
And then,
Constance, I brought up the kid in the bathroom at Walmart to Ernie, and he straight up lied, stalker. He claimed he told us it was a lady yelling at a man about a past thing, and he just recorded it. Was that you that asked him about it? Because she has it recorded in there, because someone asked him something like, he claimed that he told us it was a lady yelling at a man about a past thing, and
then
she bust him out on it.
And then Ellen Krebs says, Matthew Griffin confirmed a conspiracy. Nothing can stop what's coming. If you're talking about the clip that we just played, or that Mama T played, the clip had nothing to do with Ernie. The clip was, Voices went over that whole thing, which I wish I could have left my live up. It was just too much of a mess, I felt like, to leave up. Voices went over the whole thing. They were in the group and everything when that happened. So that was about stirring up drama and stuff like that for views. That specific one topic, if that's what you meant, unless you mean there's another conspiracy that I don't know about.
If some of these people like Alan would only think as hard and long about Ernie and the bullshit as they think long and hard about other shit, like they can put 2 is 2 is 4 is 9, 12, and 18 together and think it's 25. But they cannot look at Ernie Shell's video where he's a predator, 3 videos, and say Ernie Shell's a predator. They think Ernie Shell's a great man. Yeah, and Long Gone said Ernie hardly ever worked in his life. But here he's trying to tell Bandit that in 2017, he was working busting child predators. And then, how he got the job? Working outside of Trump Towers. So what's he doing? Just working at Trump Towers? And he goes, remember I told you that, Bandit. So my question to Bandit would be, Bandit, did he tell you how he got that job? If he did tell you, how did he get that job, Bandit? Can you tell us? Yeah, she said, yes, it was me. He told me it happened, how his video was showing it, and we just watched it on Sarah's. Yep. Can you sign our late slips? Yes, you can, Holly Dolly. I can. Sure thing. Okay, let's get back to this. So I'm going to rewind so we know where we're at. Just a minute. There.
That was my career. That was what I did. And it all started.
He cannot show you one place of employment for that career. Can't do it. In fact, he gave me a resume. Nothing was on it like that.
Wait, no, the resume. Remember when you got that resume when you hence the joke, open the email. Remember, I went over and added up all the work stuff. He has 164 or 165 years work experience when I added in all the work experience. Just so you know. Just telling you.
6 pages.
164 years of work experience. Just let that sink in.
But nothing about working with child predators. He said he owned Predator Hunter Nation, but he didn't say anything other than that. But he didn't say in 2017 I worked as a child predator. No, he didn't say that at all. Not once. Nope. And Bandit's over here, acting like he's got a legit career.
Being a detailed security outside Trump Towers in 2017. That's where it all started.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last night.
That's what I want to know what they talked about. What'd you talk? I mean, I'm not asking for a private conversation, but how did he tell you got into it?
And there needs to be a system that's put in place that educates and trains law enforcement specifically for this, I would say, because a lot of this stuff gets swept under the rug with just superficial investigation.
How do they know that? Edith, quit.
Knock it off, Edith.
She's sitting at the door like going, wah, and the door's halfway open. If she just wiggle her butt through it, she can get through it. In a minute, you'll hear her go, wah. Stupid dog. But how do they know that law enforcement is barely trained on it. Where would you know that? How would you know that? I feel like I want to call. Can you hear? Call random police departments and say, "Are you trained in child trafficking and pedophilia or pedophiles?" But then they're like, "Get this girl's number, check her internet history."
Well, you could say you're doing some sort of survey on it. I don't know. How could you? You can think of, you can work on your presentation for that, and
Yeah,
you can
I'm not really doing
non-emergency.
things like that. At the pretext, that's what Ernie calls. I'm not very good
You
at the
can
pretext.
talk about that you do stuff on YouTube, and that there's been people presenting this kind of stuff, and you're wondering what sort of if anyone could tell you about
Once
various
you say
trainings.
YouTube, they hang up on you.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. That's a good
I can
point.
say I'm an independent reporter, or I'm an
Mm.
independent, investigation, or hey, I was just
You could be an
wondering.
investigative journalist like Bellhorn
Yeah,
Betty.
yeah. This is where we need a team. We need a team like Ernie has a team, because his team's always doing something. So we need a team that wants to Google this, not worried about it getting in their browser all junked up. A team to call these police departments, not worried about getting investigated.
Constance, you didn't react the way I thought you would when I said you could be an investigative journalist like Bellhorn Betty. You know, you just brushed that
Oh,
off. I
I
thought
just
you would get a little
yeah.
more reactive than
Oh,
that. Come on now.
yep. Now the big dog's barking. Let me get this dog real quick.
No problem. I'm gonna get a refill of my coffee
Okay,
anyways.
Tiny.
I'll just look at chat.
There's
Tiny and Edith, you stop it. Stop
they're
that.
they're out now. Stupid dog. He won't go past the big dog. Won't go past the little dog unless the little dog says it's okay. Okay, back to
She's
this.
the boss. They know it.
He is, yeah.
Has to live in fear of the little one. That's hilarious.
No, it is true. It is true. It is true. This person here, I was one of the 8 captains that
Be in
was
the
come when the
courtroom.
combatant human trafficking was.
Oh, I want people to go to court for that and cover that.
For what? Ernie's?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Put a one. If you think I should go fund me to cover
Anyone that's
tonight's
in the
cases.
area, please go. I'm sure Jimbo will go again because you know, him and Kemper went before.
Yep. He
Anyone
said
that's
he
in the
took
area that can go,
videos.
please go if they let you.
I would
Get the
go.
info. Get the deeds.
I was gonna take my what was I gonna take my vacation? Was it for Bullhorn Betty something?
Maybe Leslie will go.
Yeah, because Madison County ain't that far from Harlan, is it? I don't know.
We need a reporter.
Just for you said, I would imagine that police have some kind of basic training in that stuff, but there's specialized groups who has extensive training in it. I think that's why there's the FBI.
Ah, she's right there. Please go, Leslie.
So far, no, but there's a new charge added in Madison County.
Hey, Kimmy Kims.
Yep.
I'm gonna think there's more. I can't. I want to know what's on the hard drives. It just keeps popping up in my head. It could be nothing. It could be nothing. But still, I just want to know.
Kentucky would go probably too. Yep. Heck, I bet there's a whole bunch of people there. Yep. You can't record inside the video in the courtroom anyway, I don't think. So you'd have to wait till they get the video released, like Jimbo did last time.
Yeah, but they had actual video last time because remember the marshmallow shirt was shown. You could see that. That's what stood out the most in the court.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of y'all didn't like that, but I mean, sorry, it was funny. It was just like a troll.
Maybe everybody could wear the. Wouldn't it be funny if everybody had tiger stripes on?
I can hook up some court wear. Yes, I can.
Matching court wear.
Tiger
Probably
gone. He
price,
gone.
too.
I should make he gone shirts and make it like a tiger with no stripes. Leslie,
I
I'll
don't
hook
know.
you up.
I don't know if they'd say that's disrespectful and let you wear it or not. I don't know.
I mean, you're not the one on trial. I don't think
That's
you have
true.
to. I mean, it's not, you're just an observer.
Probably. I think there'll be new charges too, because nothing with the government goes fast and everything has to be. And I know just what I turned in alone would be a lot to go through. That's not counting the, I think what other 4 or 5 people that turned in stuff too. So if they have to go through all that, all this, all that,
Excuse me, Constance. Do you have any new email from Alan? He's asking you to read your email.
Oh, Alan.
Does that mean there's a new email?
I don't know, Alan, but honey, I ignore your emails because they're off the wall.
What up, AC?
Yeah, hey, AC. Sometimes I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'll read it. I'll read it tonight. But you send me so many emails.
Oh, you get a lot of emails?
Oh my gosh. Alan emails at least once a day. And it's
Well, he's keeping in touch with you, you know?
Yeah, it's stuff that's, I don't know, it's just stuff that's too much. It's like, if you're already thinking that Griff busted a conspiracy, then I have a hard
What's the
time.
conspiracy though? Does it relate to that video? Because that's something else.
I don't know. I'll have to read it tonight and let you know. And yeah, don't dox. Don't dox.
Oh, I didn't even catch it.
Thank you, Buttercup. Okay, let's get back to Ernie.
All right.
I'll probably only do half of this today and then do half of it tomorrow. Or
Whatever you think.
Was put into law pretty much, executive orders. I was one of the 8 captains that led teams around the United States. So you're wrong on that. You're wrong.
That's not true. That's not true. He was Special Forces of Liberty. I don't know if y'all remember when I talked to the guy, the weirdo at the at the messenger, and he said Ernie was let go from Special Forces of Liberty.
What conspiracy?
Yeah, Special Forces of Liberty. Did I say conspiracy?
No, I was kind of reading out loud Genevieve. I don't know if she's talking to Alan or if she meant what I meant. I was talking about the one. I could be talking about a different conspiracy. I thought Alan meant the one that Griff was talking about, which the one Griff was talking about was really just about creating a ruse. It was his own self-made one. If that clears that up. And what else was I going to say? Oh, man. Okay, so Margaret's going to email you. And was there something else? I feel like there was something else I wanted to say real quick, but now...
Thank you for keeping an eye on chat.
I'm trying to, yeah. I'm going to go get my coffee refill. I forgot what else I was going to say. Never mind.
Now I can't even find the Special Forces of Liberty website that Chris Seaver was on. But when I find that, Margaret said local channel covers the courtroom. Oh, that's cool.
Leslie, if I make a "He Gone" shirt, the thing about that is even if I write that on the shirt and you wear it, if he catches a glance at you, he's going to see the "He Gone," so it's going to be he'll know what that means. And that's what's going to be funny if he reads it, pretty much.
Yes, I will, Margaret. Yes, I will. Absolutely. Do you have my emails? It's my short one is ConnieKR68@gmail.com. Hey, Nancy. So we're back to Ernie thinking that. Don't start. You just came back in. Dogs. So someone's talking to him in the audience, and I guess he thinks it's Genevieve arguing with him. But here we go.
And I'll challenge you on that. I'll challenge you on that because I'll ask you one thing: what kind of certifications you got to have, and I bet you can't tell me the certification you got to have. Because Watchdog is a big, huge list right now. Watchdog is what the FBI actually uses, and the U.S. Marshals, and they use not one. And Bark is another security system that they use. But I'll tell you right now, I'll challenge you any day. Let me tell you, anytime, any day you want.
See, he's talking. Oh, I bet this is on Rumble. That's why it doesn't make sense, because this was Mummy T must have said something, and he said, "I'll challenge you any day, Mummy T."
Want to on that on your
yeah
deal.
Yeah, she was in the chat, I believe.
But I'm talking about actually having a professional career at it.
Okay, so now he just said, what kind of special license do you have to have a professional career at it? Where's your license, Ernie? You have never showed us once. So you're sitting right there. Make sure we heard it right. Saying you have to have a special license to do this career. But yet Ernie has produced none.
8 captains that led teams around the United States. So you're wrong on that. You're wrong on that. And I'll challenge you on that. I'll challenge you on that because I'll ask you one thing: what kind of certifications you got to have, and I bet you can't tell me the certification you got to have. Because Watchdog is a big, huge list right now. Watchdog is what the FBI actually uses, and the U.S. Marshals, and they use not one. And Bark is another security system that they use. But I'll tell you right now, I'll challenge you any day. Let me tell you, anytime, any day you want to on that, on your deal. Yeah, anybody can be a decoy, but I'm talking about actually having a professional career at it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I understand. That's just one of the people. I know who that is. I know who that is. But yeah, I don't want to get off on the subject, off of that because this is serious. This is really serious what we're doing. It's serious. The cases I'm working now. I'm actually working cases that involve into that. So I really don't want to say too much because, I'm kind of.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're trying to expose awareness. Like, I'm actually into affiliation with groups that I've already went to law enforcement, and they said, look, the crime hasn't been committed.
What groups are you affiliated with, Ernie? Could you tell us those? Bandit, that would have been a good question to say. Ernie, what groups are you affiliated with? But he gets in deeper about this crap.
With groups that I've already went to law enforcement, and they said, look, the crime hasn't been committed yet. And I'm sitting here like, but they're talking about this crime.
So Ernie's saying that he is in this group of pedophiles, I guess, and they're talking about doing the crime. And he said he went to law enforcement, and law enforcement says, we can't do anything till a crime has been committed, which is partially true. Now, if Ernie really went to law enforcement, he would know that that's not 100% true. It's like, if you say, I'm going to go rob a bank, and you never rob a bank, the cops are going to say, well, she's going to have to rob the bank first. But if you go get a mask, rope, dynamite, plan to the vault, the who works there, what time they go to work, you're going to get a conspiracy charge. So Ernie, if you really turned that into police, saying what you said, they would at least got a conspiracy charge. But you didn't turn it into police because it didn't happen. Hey, D-Boss, thank you for being a new member. But let's listen to what he says that he does. And you know it's full of shit. And Bandit, you should have caught this.
To affiliation with groups that I really don't want to say too much off of that because this is serious. This is really serious what we're doing. It's serious the cases I'm working now. I'm actually working cases that involve into that. So I really don't want to say too much because, I'm kind of,
that's fine.
We're trying to expose awareness. Like, I'm actually into affiliation with groups that I've already went to law enforcement, and they said, look, the crime hasn't been committed yet. And I'm sitting here like, but they're talking about this crime. So how do we get it to where you can do something about it? And they're like, well, the crime has to be committed. So I'm not the kind of person that's going to let a little kid be sodomized or be molested before something's done.
So what are you going to do, Ernie?
Not me, I'm sorry. Especially when I see what's going on, I'm not going to be that person.
What are you going to do? You've gone to law enforcement and they say they can't help you. So what are you going to do? Go fight somebody, Ernie? With your HIV status? Is that what you was planning on doing? Well, we know that's bullshit that, you said you would stop it, but you're not going to stop it. And you're not working on any cases being wanted from the law. But if we're in Ernie's head, he said, oh no, if police won't stop it, I will. A gun, Ernie? What if you're wrong, Ernie? Should you be investigating any kind of child, anything with HIV status?
That's not the oath I took. That's not the oath I took.
What oath did you take, Ernie? He won't tell us. I've asked him a million times.
And I'm not going to stand around and let it happen. That's just the way it is.
What are you going to do?
And that's me, from who I am, my family bloodline.
Your family bloodline. Margaret, do you know, Margaret's here. She's known Ernie since he was 9. Margaret, do you know Ernie's bloodline from coming from his grandpa being a killer, to his mom being a killer, to his uncles being a killers, but more than killers, predator hunters? He said his papa was a predator hunter. His great grandpa was a predator hunter.
Oh, is that the lady that was yelling up on panel? The one that has known him?
Yes, Margaret. Yeah,
who was giving him a lashing.
Yes,
that was awesome. I didn't know that was her.
Yes, yeah. When she said, "Ernie, you don't," yeah, that when she said, we don't do that around here. That was Margaret. Yeah, I met her through Brad in Brad's chat. Yeah, and she's, she was a real staunch supporter of Ernie until she seen that bus video and the
touching the leg.
Yeah. So he says he's not going to let these child predators get away with it. What are you going to do, Ernie? I mean, there's a reason why the law says they have to commit the crime first. You have to have so many elements of the law. And if you had any training, you would know that. I mean, I'm just a stupid old almost paralegal. Almost paralegal, not right. But I did take criminal justice class. And there's elements. Every crime has elements. Every statute has elements. You have to meet every element for that to be, be the crime. You can't have 3 out of 4. You have to meet every one of them. So robbing a bank, if you've got all the gear in your back seat, and you got the schematics to the safe and the layout of the thing, and you've got you're probably going to get conspiracy. You're not going to have to rob that bank before you get charged. And he would know that if he had any schooling. He used to use Margaret and his family, but not anymore. She didn't allow that.
And me being who everybody, says I am, the predator hunter.
Everybody doesn't say that. There's nobody that says that. Nobody but you.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That ain't me. Go ahead, brother.
And see, another thing about NAMBLA, if we want to go back to 1997, I think that's when it was, with the case Jeffrey Curley in Massachusetts. A lot of people, upon doing research on that case, they wonder why Massachusetts represented NAMBLA.
NAMBLA. Yep.
In a civil suit with Jeffrey Curley's parents.
Luke of Vegas says, I don't know of a single capture of a predator except him. Redstone says, we've challenged him for years and never received legitimate proof. And somebody said, Purple Rainstorm said, the predator telling on himself.
So this was in the chat last night? The chat that you're reading out loud? Okay.
Yeah, this is YouTube chat, not...
I think I popped in there for a second, but I didn't stay. I was driving.
Yeah, you said something like, you remember I said, you said, he gone.
Yeah, I went in. It didn't get received well.
Well, here in a minute, you're going to see his mods even say, this guy's full of shit.
Because they're protected under the First Amendment and also the 14th Amendment, I believe.
It is the 14th. I think it is the...
See, Ernie don't know.
Amendment. You see, if you just look at the publicity, the actual part that was put out, that's what I was telling you about. What was shown to the public, it's just like, that happens every day. But if you go down into that case, what actually they did to that kid, man, they don't put it out in the news like that. They don't say, hey, they took this and did this and that to this kid. They summarize it up and say, hey, this kid, they murdered this kid, they killed this kid. They don't.
Because Ernie, it's assaulting to your sensibilities. The nightly news doesn't come on and show all the gore. We know the gore's there, but they kind of dumb it down because the general public doesn't want to see that. It's not that we're hiding from it. We all know it happens. It's just that it's just the polite thing to do. Police and first responders and all that, they have to see it. They can't get away from it. But you don't want that all on your nightly news. It's too much for people's coping, I guess. What the right word I'm trying to say.
Talk about the gas, what they put in the kid, what they did to the kid. They don't talk about that. And that's what's sad about it, because people is easy to turn their head to it. They're easy to be able to shy off of it instead of really grabbing their attention, because
it wouldn't grab our attention. We would shy away from it more.
If you was to start talking about that, what actually happens to these children that it's not no choices, that have no choices, it draws them in. It would draw people in.
What the fuck did he just say? Okay.
Kid, they murdered this kid. They killed this kid. They don't talk about the gas, what they put in the kid, what they did to the kid. They don't talk about that. And that's what's sad about it.
They don't talk about it because it's sad about
it. People is easy to turn their head.
Because people are easy to turn their head
to it. They're easy to be able to shy off of it instead of really grabbing their attention.
Instead of really grabbing their attention. You're easy to shy off of it instead of grab your attention.
Because if you was to start talking about that.
Because if you start talking about it.
Yeah, what actually happens to these
children,
there's not no choices.
These children that's not no choices.
Have no choices.
That have no choices.
It draws them in.
It draws them in. What the fuck does that mean?
It would draw people in. That's what it would do.
Does that make any sense to anybody? Did it make any sense to anybody? I don't make any sense of that. This doesn't make any sense. Right, Genevieve. It just doesn't make any sense.
But now,
Oh wow,
because
she's
they
known
don't
him
talk
since he
about
was
it,
9.
it throws them off.
Yeah.
So that's sad. That's why we even come up with laws like with the
We come up with laws. Ernie, you ain't never come up with a law in your life.
Special Forces of Liberty.
The Special Forces of Liberty didn't come up with any laws.
You know, with the SOCA Act, Save Our Children Act.
I knew that part was coming.
Yep. And Viper, down in these comments, I have looked up the SOCA Act. I cannot find where it has passed any state. And you're going to hear Bandit like almost back Ernie up on this.
I don't think it went past bill form.
Ernie says 37 states.
It's been adopted in 25, 30, 35 states.
No, there's other laws that are adapted that are similar to the best of my knowledge.
You hear
35 states he said it passed in, and I can't find one of them.
Oh man, I can't remember what they're called. It's something like COSA. I'd have to look it up.
Yes, it's one letter, then
Kids
O.
online safety. There's I think it's different. There's a 4-letter one. I think it's COSA.
Yep. Instead of Save Our Children, it's something Our Children Act.
Yep.
But yeah, because I found that I think it was in, but I don't remember for sure. But even when you look at that Special Forces of Liberty website, it has a bunch of jibber jabber, but I can't tell that it passed. But Ernie's going to sit here and act like it passed. He doesn't even know how many states.
Because they don't talk about it, it throws them off. So that's sad. That's why we even come up with laws.
Angelo, there was a bill with Tiffany Marler, and I just think it didn't pass the bill form. It didn't go past that. And her YouTube's on. She has a YouTube.
Yeah. And she's listed in the Special Forces of Liberty too. But I think
her driver, she went with Chris, right? And that's the driver that Ernie worked for, and he might have picked up on her bill, but it was Tiffany Marler's bill.
Yes.
That she was trying to get passed.
Viper said something in the other chat that,
but I can't find a U.S. SOCA.
Viper said it's a UK law, not a U.S. law. I couldn't find it. But yeah, Tiffany did press for it. And he's going to talk about something here in a minute. I'll show you the video. But Tiffany's law was because Tiffany Marler, because she was a victim of child trafficking. It was her law. And then Chris and them, I'll wait for
her bill.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
If the UK has one too, it's completely different than Tiffany's. But hers didn't pass to the best of my knowledge. It was just bill.
I have a Tiffany or a SOCA. I have a SOCA playlist.
Oh, okay, you do. I should have known.
The SOCA Act, Save Our Children Act, and you see what it's already done. It's been adopted in 25, 30, 35 states, something like that.
35 states, something like that. You'd think that'd be a pretty big deal that he would know the detail, right? But anytime he says something like that, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And notice he's reaching over again for his pop or his G4 whatever.
It's the SOCA Act, what you hear Ernie talk about a lot. And I haven't talked about the SOCA Act, but
yeah, the SOCA Act that Ernie talks about. Well, I haven't talked about that act. No, of course you haven't.
I've talked about the trivial things that came because of the SOCA Act.
How do you know that, Bandit?
And one of those things is you have to verify your age by government ID if you go to adult porn websites.
Is that true? That's another thing I wanted to Google, but I didn't want to goofing up my my algorithm or my, is that true?
No.
I didn't think it was true.
All right, on your Tiffany Marler playlist, you just said you had or whatever. I didn't know you had one. Do you have any short clips that you could play that kind of talk about the SOCA Act, her talking about it, or her trying to get her bill passed? That would put it more in, make more sense.
Here in a second, Ernie's going to mention it, and then we'll play those videos.
Okay, that's good.
I think it's coming up here.
Exactly. The first time you visit that, and once you hit that button, it takes your IPs. What it does. There was actually a senator that got in trouble because his kid got on his laptop. This is what he said. He was gone, and the kid got on the computer or something like that, and was just typing in stuff. So magically child porn or something showed up. So as soon as that does that, if you go offline, if you go out and see,
that didn't make any sense.
No.
To get to the black web, let's just say the dark web. I like to say it's black.
I'm not gonna try that.
See, he mispronounced the black web. Oh, well, I'd like to call it the black web.
Web because it's a very barren place.
Yeah.
You have to have encryptions. There's certain encryptions that you have to.
And he says he's on it, so he has the encryptions.
How would
Now,
you know
that should be something only law enforcement should have.
Yeah, how do you have that?
Right. And if you're not law enforcement, you're a predator, in my opinion.
I think he might be just trying to press him maybe for the interview and talk the talk, but I mean,
Might be.
I'm just picking up on that, but I could be wrong.
Over here in chat, Purple Rainstorm says, always had a hat on to hide his lion eyes. Kate makes back in a courtroom. Purple Rainstorm said, expert on trafficking and exploitation, yet not a single capture. Think about it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Bird says, our bird on a wire. He told his
Yeah.
people, your eyes and your ears deceive you. Don't see me as I am. Don't listen to my contradictions and lies. Let your God-given heart lead you. Feel sorry for me. I need your pity. True.
To go by just to even get into that. And then from there, there's certain gateways, you say portals, door openings that lead to different things. So do you remember there was a website called raw.com? You remember?
Anybody heard of raw.com?
They were selling people.
They were selling people.
Wait a minute. Selling? Is this the one that he called rapey?
Nope, this is a totally different one.
But he sounds like the same story.
Sure does.
All right.
Do you remember there was a website called raw.com? You remember that? They were selling people. It was taken down.
Well, was it one of those gore websites?
It was not gore, but they also had prostitution. They had things that there was a lot of child trafficking. There's a lot of child trafficking on it. A lot of
This sounds like the other one.
Yeah.
And it was opened up to the public. It wouldn't even.
Now, what sense does it make that there's a lot of child trafficking on here open to the public? Wouldn't the police just go there and bust it? Does any of that make sense?
Oh, so Genevieve says she knows about it. I never heard of it. I don't know if he just finds these things online and makes up kind of elaborates more on it. I don't know. I know, right? But
Yeah,
Leslie, did you hear the other story where he talked about the website rapey.com?
Yeah,
We played the clip
rapey.com.
when he was on that report. What was that lady's her YouTube? Some random woman we found. I mean, we went over that in one of my lives.
Truth for tomorrow.
I don't remember her name.
And he said on rapey.com you could get people to rape. You could just get people to rape.
Yep, it was on one of my lives, one of the general
Could you
awareness
buy
that we
people
do.
on Genevieve? Could you buy people on Raw?
Well, I thought it was a freaking rap for your marijuana. That's what I think of when I hear that.
I just don't understand like this. If you knew there's a website where people are being bought and paid for to rape, and you know there's a website where people are being bought, why wouldn't law enforcement? I mean, what makes Ernie Shell gonna bust that and not law enforcement? FBI.
How does it even get to the point where it floats around to the general public that they could just go buy someone and it's still literally open for business before law enforcement took it? It doesn't make sense.
If you're telling me that the FBI knows about these websites and Ernie Shell can bust them, but the FBI and the police can't, I'm going to say I'm sorry.
I understand, Leslie. It was in one of our general awareness sessions. We went over this interview he did with this random lady we've never heard of. She doesn't affiliate with any of us. And it was really bizarre. He talked about a website called rapey.com. Like, that was bizarre in itself, just the name.
Genevieve, how did it come to you before the FBI? How the hell does anybody know to give it to you before the FBI?
How could it still be an operation that a general person in the public can find it and it's still open for business?
I don't want to be disrespectful and I don't want to be a smart ass because I know you've done a lot of work and research, but I just don't understand how, and I'm going to say, John Doe in Kentucky can find out about people being sold before the FBI.
I mean, yeah.
Me too. Now
Seems
that's
fair
what I
enough.
said. That's why my title says predator prey. And how do you tell the difference? He's not FBI. He's one of the two. He's either law enforcement and working with law enforcement, or he's a creep. And
Yes,
just by
Leslie. Sorry.
go ahead. What'd you say?
She was when we did the general awareness and we did his weird interview, we covered it. That only had like a couple hundred views, and it was from a couple of years ago or something, right?
It was a Truth for Tomorrow or something like that.
I gotta label the general awarenesses and put more timestamps in the description. I'm trying to go back and put stuff of interest in the description and give timestamps in the comments section, but I need to catch up. I'm a little behind.
I don't even know what I would put that under. Like if I'm
I need to label that. I want people to be able to find that interview, so I'm going to add that to the description. But now I have to go through all our. I mean, the best I've done so far is label every time you've been on and we've done general awareness. I've labeled them volume 1, 2, 3. I've labeled them that way at least, but
I think I searched rock. Maybe that's how I found it. Ernie Shell Rock.
oh, she says if you drop a link, she'll explain.
To
Ernie
Genevieve?
was very intimidated by Genevieve. I know he mentioned that name a lot. It didn't seem like that.
Let me look here real quick. Truth for Tomorrow or Search for Tomorrow or dang. And I don't even know what I would put it in. I don't know what these playlist I would put it in.
If you can't find, oh, you have it in a playlist?
Yeah, but I
interviews?
don't remember
Do you
what
have
I
an
put.
interview playlist?
No, don't have an interview playlist.
That'd be a good idea since he's got the Bandit interview, that lady interview.
No.
There might be some others. That's just
He
an
had
idea.
another one, but it's been taken off the YouTube. The guy must have wised up. I'm trying to think of what. Oh, okay. Watch chat for a minute while I know where I put it.
Do you want to give her a link or not? Or do you want to wait?
For
oh yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay.
So I think Constance is trying to find the link to that. And yes, Long Gone. And then usually they get attacked like we have.
Genevieve, remind me in a minute. I'm getting too many things going on. I'll lose my thought. But Sarah, just talk to chat for a minute.
Sure.
Then we'll come back to that. Okay, let me.
Okay, so you're looking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll look. Okay, Ernie's mostly repeating stuff from the old Pizzagate conspiracy. I think a lot of things he might get ideas and kind of elaborate on that story because he's a good storyteller. And Long Gone, to go back to that, once you know things or you wise up or catch on to, it's almost like you can't unsee it once you see it, and you can almost predict what's going to happen once you start seeing the pattern before he does it. And yes, he gets intimidated, I think, and that's why he goes on the attack. Hence why calling us all names. I know you've gotten it hard, and just because you were owed money. I've tried to stick up for some of the people that were owed money, like I know you in the past I have to get your $100, but I'm pretty sure you got it. And .com, there's other people that got scammed with his assistance. I'm not over that, and I'm pretty sure, guys, I don't know if .com's in the chat or listening. I'm pretty sure, and I've been watching for a while, I don't ever say it right away, but I'm pretty sure Jayla Price came back, and she already was right in the next couple days after I brought out that again. This lady won't go away, and I'd like to ask Mama T, when we get to Mama T, why do they feel like they have to protect her and let her keep hiding in their chat? It doesn't make any sense to me. She literally scammed someone for over $1,000. It makes zero sense why you would hide them in your chat, in your group chats. It makes zero sense. I don't want to go off on a Jayla whole thing, because that will get me mad. But yeah, like, you know how he's been calling me extra dirty things and really filthy names. It's because you catch on, and then he gets scared of you outing anything or whatever, so he lashes out. I'm convinced he does random Google searches, doesn't open anything up. He just I think he grabs bits and pieces and combines it, like right here in this interview. it did give me that vibe, Jason, that he was trying to sound. And you can, if you're just somebody that comes in and listens and you don't know, it will definitely sound like he knows what he's talking about. And I think he can do that well. Hence, that goes along with the storytelling, the gift of the gab, so to speak. He's a good storyteller. He can look at a few little things and come up with something quick, like he does when he does the comedy and stuff. Why, hello, Chicken Lady. I don't really see you around much lately. I was wondering where you've been. Well, there you are.
Okay.
That was brought out, Sky. That was presented before, and receipts were shown that they were working together at least on one occasion, and there were receipts shown for that. But now I can't say who had the receipt for that. Where Mama T, it showed on the receipt. I'm not saying it. The receipt showed, or whoever presented it, that she got a cut of it according to the receipt. But I don't know if it was a receipt from Ernie or from Jayla. Now I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. But I know other people in the chat know about it. Why does Jayla keep coming back and changing her name and making new accounts? Like, you can see her in the chat. It's obvious when these new people appear and they know everything from the past, but they've never talked in the chat before. You think we're friggin' morons? You think we're not going to see you in the chat? You're on your 8th name, 9th name, and you keep scamming the community and going to other communities and stealing hundreds of dollars? Hell no.
Found it.
One moment.
It is 57. No. Yeah, it's 57 minutes long. So I'll just put the link in the chat. And I'll show you that this is it. It's called Hold the Line. Ernie Shell, Operation Rescue Our Children. Here's the link. And her channel is...
I'm not going to say the name out loud until I can link it and show you guys, but I'm certain. But I don't want to say yet because it would be rude of me to do that unless I can show you the proof. Which I'm working on.
See, there's a lady. Look at her smiling at him.
Yep, that's her.
And here's her
That's
channel.
the interview right there
Hold
that I
the
was talking
Line
about.
TV. Yeah, Hold the Line TV.
This is the one that Constance and I, one of my general awarenesses with Constance, we did this interview and it was too much.
It was too much. She doesn't have very many interviews on there. She has like that's many. And she met him. See, she was in Kenosha, and that's how she met him. It says Citizen Report, verdict, Kenosha, Wisconsin. And she said, I went to buy all the security men donuts, and you weren't there. Because he wasn't one. Okay, now.
That was funny.
Back to the playlist where SAGA Act.
I'm so glad, thank God, that I didn't. The day that traumatic video was played that everyone brings up, I'm so sorry that anyone that saw that. I am so glad for whatever reason someone was with me that day looking out that I didn't have to see that horrific shit and be traumatized forever, because I would be. Just add to some more trauma. But anyways, for that one day I was in Home Goods and I decided to put the phone in my pocket. I was listening on one earbud, couldn't figure out what the hell was going on in the chat the day that the kids, that snuff film was played. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on or what they were talking about, but thank God I didn't look at my phone. It was just playing in my pocket, so I'm so glad I never saw that. I'm sorry to all you that saw that.
I didn't click on it. Okay, now do you see this? This is my SAGA Act. We have, but her Betty says, dust off this oldie. Remember, the mission accepted. You're still a joke. He talks about SAGA Act. Ernie Shell lying, taking credit for the SAGA Act. That's the one with Tiffany Marler, and there's Tiffany. This is him and Chris saying that they were, no words needed. We did it. Save our children. There's Ernie at the Capitol, one of the Capitols. I didn't travel around the country for views. We did it for your children. Sure. And this is a 30-minute. This is Ernie LARPing big time about it. Here is the video of the Special Forces of Liberty. My email with them where they said Ernie was taken off of Special Forces of Liberty, but also that he could bend steel with his bare hands.
That was hilarious.
Travel fastest than anybody they know. And then there's a really good, it's almost like a documentary from Crime Catalyst, and there's 2 parts. Who's Ernie Shell? And then the other one's Ernie Shell, the Controversy, and it talks about the SAGA Act.
Exactly.
And then this is Let's Get to Know Ernie Shell's version of a great guy, Chris Seaver, and it tells what a not great guy Chris is. So, whatever. This is probably the one you was thinking about where it talks about Tiffany. We'll play it real quick. This is from Truth Be Told.
Yesterday, and I think this one is very, very important. Okay? Because Ernie took over this true trafficking victims SAGA Act.
Do you see this lady right here? This is Tiffany Marlar. This is the lady that endured what the SAGA Act is all about. She was human trafficked. And Chris Seaver was the de facto lawyer that was pushing her bill. And Scumbucket was just there sucking old Chris off. This is the lady whose bill it was, and he could not even say her name.
Of course, he had to prop himself up there like he was doing big things. But he's just a show pony, as we all know. He leeches on to certain big things, and then he takes a credit for everything when he was just there, like a bump on a log.
Save Our Children Act 2022 legislation on that. So
He couldn't even give her enough respect. As you see right here.
So that's Tamori.
Yep.
Tiffany Marlar, the SAGA Act. Tiffany Marlar, no more tears. Tiffany Marlar.
SOCA. Yep.
Nowhere does it say Ernie Shell.
No, he was along for the ride, I believe.
Look, former sex trafficking victim. Now listen to this piece of shit.
Yeah.
Edith, stop that.
Yeah.
Ours is called the Save Our Children Act. SAGA. Hers wasn't.
Betty wasn't even following him at the time.
Okay, so I guess Marley or whatever there.
Marley, did you hear that? Did you hear that? She is a human trafficking survivor, and he can't even say her fucking name properly.
What a piece of shit. Can y'all believe that? He is... I have no words for this fraud, this imposter.
As you see, I keep rewinding it, playing it at different speeds, hoping somebody could catch on to it.
Okay, so I guess Marley or whatever there.
Marley or whatever there. Former sex trafficking victim leads effort. Y'all read it.
Ours is called the Save Our Children Act. SAGA. Hers wasn't.
Hers wasn't called Save Our Children Act. His was.
Yeah. Ours is called the Save Our Children Act. SAGA. Hers wasn't.
As y'all seen, Tiffany Marlar is Save Our Children Act.
Yeah.
Right, Ken Suji. They fucked it all up.
Ours is called the Save Our Children Act. SAGA. Hers wasn't.
What a freaking creep.
Makes no sense.
Ooh, it just makes my skin crawl.
Too bad the screen's so
Save Our
small.
Children Act. Tiffany Marlar.
Oh, you know what? No.
I thought it was their fault the way they played it.
Let me see if
a lot of videos come out like that unless you like stretch them way big, and I always resize my shit in like Canva so that people can. But they come out like that default.
Back here, Tiffany M, former sex trafficking victim, leads efforts to change Missouri laws. Where else? You just Google her name. Former sex trafficking victim leads effort to change Missouri law. And that's her. Tells you about it.
Save Our Children Act. Tiffany.
Save Our Children Act right there. No More Tears, 214. Tiffany Marler, Director, Missouri Special Forces of Liberty. Now, see, she was Director of Special Forces of Liberty for Missouri. Ernie was the Director for Kentucky. When you try to get a hold of Chris Sevier, who's the head of it all, and say, how did you appoint Ernie that? He won't call you back. So I got in touch with John Guntner Jr., the second in charge, and he says he doesn't even hardly remember Ernie Shell. He has no idea how he got on there. And the website I talked to said that Ernie was removed. So I'm thinking the whole website is just LARPing. But that's where it says, Save Our Children. Tiffany Marler, Director of Missouri Special Forces of Liberty. I tried to call her, but she never did call me back.
Tiffany Marler.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the room yet.
Save Our Children.
Well, I had it like this so I could see when he came in, but I didn't see him come in yet. Did he just go in there?
Who?
Hello?
Are you talking to me?
No, I pressed the wrong button, my bad.
Oh.
No, I was answering somebody else, my bad. I thought I muted. Somebody asked me a question, my bad.
Oh, that's okay. Kinsugi said, the way she wrote the bill, it passed. But Seaver changed the writing and it finally was repealed. Well, that makes sense. And everybody says, well, what was Ernie doing? It was my understanding, and I don't know how I know this, because I can't cite my source, and I don't know how I know this, but I was told that Ernie was just he answered an ad for Chris Seaver to be a driver. Chris wanted someone to drive him state to state to state to state, and Ernie was hired to be the driver. Now, in a minute, you'll hear him say, when he talks about going in front of, well, I was there to talk about my role with prostitution. What?
Well, I think that's where he got the idea, being the driver.
Yeah.
Obviously, he just picked it up.
Tell us more about what'd you do with prostitution, Ernie? Because that wasn't in your resume either. He's talking about my dog being Spanish. She does sometimes, though. Okay.
We changed the writing and it was repeated.
Now,
okay.
I'm going to get back to this and see if I can get...
Midnight Baker. Yeah, I know. That killed me too, Midnight Baker. Oh, she probably can't hear me if she's behind.
Now, is that true? I was told Craigslist was shut down because of prostitution.
I didn't know it was shut down.
Well, the personal ads part of it was.
Oh, I never.
Yeah,
I never even knew if they existed. I just always looked for free shit.
Yeah,
that was my favorite section. The free shit.
There's still some section on there that get you, but I thought it was for.
I don't even look anymore. Thanks for reminding me. I used to get all my project stuff there. Free stuff for free art projects, you know?
Next thing you know.
Yep, more projects. Ah, long gone. Interesting. It's not anything I ever drifted off into looking into. Very interesting.
Listen, does this sound like somebody that used to teach something? I used to teach these, if something you're teaching, don't you think you pretty much know what it is? Not, If
you just played it, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, let me rewind it.
Or I don't know. I don't know if you just played it. Because I have to keep switching from chat to the screen. I mean, nothing's playing right now anyway. On the screen.
Well, maybe I'm a dum-dum, that's why.
Because it's not hitting play. I can see you're
there
hitting
you go.
play. Oh, okay, because you're on the different screen. I'm like, you're not hitting play, I'm watching the play button.
I forgot to switch over.
I do that all the time. Don't worry.
Okay, now I'll write it a bit. No wonder I'm the only one that heard it.
Yeah,
and
that would be why.
You could go in for it because that was one of the biggest. I mean, Craigslist was huge.
Oh, yeah.
You could go in anywhere and you could find categories. You remember how it had the categories?
Yeah.
And you could just go and you could find anything. I mean, like, you know, they would use secret codes. They would use things. You know, I used to teach these emojis things they would use. I would also teach these abbreviations, LBAC, stuff like that. And that stands for a certain thing,
Like what?
RTY. RTY is one of them. And if I was to start, and I want to, when I start my new channel, I'm going to do more classes on what these mean and what it actually means.
What is RTY?
That way people can see it. That way, when they're using these abbreviations, and at any given time, there's 550,000 child predators online any given time during the day.
Oh yeah, Genevieve Wonderly. I forgot. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, Constance, if you're talking.
Oh my gosh, I've been muted. I'm an idiot.
Oh dang.
Yeah, Genevieve, let me get through this part right here, and then I'll get it ticked off my list. Just 1 second.
Okay, thanks, Luke.
If
Yeah,
I don't
I
have to
never
keep
would have
going
known
back and
that.
doing this because I'm a goofball.
You're too young. Okay.
Okay, now see if you can hear me and him.
These emojis things they would use. I would also teach these abbreviations, LBAC, stuff like that. And that stands for a certain thing,
He's meaning like when we say WIA, what are you doing? But Ernie, how do we know that you're up to date on your letters? Because what kids know last year, it's different than this year because the parents find it out.
New
York,
that could be.
Well, he uses wrong abbreviations. Right. How do we know he's using the right ones? How do we know where he was trained?
RTY. RTY is one of them. And if I was to start, and I want to, when I start my new channel, I'm going to do more classes on what these mean and what it actually means. That way people can see it. That way, when they're using these abbreviations, and at any given time, there's 550,000 child predators online any given time during the day.
Can you hit pause for 1 second?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
When he teaches those classes, this was just recent, so this is his last interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he still had intentions on teaching classes on these abbreviations. So if I had a chance that he was listening and I could reply to that to him right now, to that I would say, are you going to do these classes in between going on panel and saying hideous things to me like I am sucking someone's dick online and such like that? Is it going to be mixed with that content or a different class? Thank you.
We're
just wondering.
doxing women,
revenge porn.
What did he did? Extortion.
Extortion.
Bandit wants us to humanize him, but Bandit forgets the human things that he's done.
Well,
recently.
He hasn't been tortured by him yet, to the best of my knowledge.
Don't you think it's his duty to look that up, though? I mean, but we can't say that because Bandit was reporting the same way, and you and I were before he said he had to talk to Ernie.
And he's just letting him talk basically. So I'm looking from that aspect of it too. Maybe it's not that deep for him. Maybe he just wants to hear what he has to say.
Then he did the protection spell.
But then that happened, right? Good point. Good point. Fair enough.
It's just, and he asked everybody to humanize Ernie. Humanize Ernie. Why does he think we haven't humanized Ernie? Oh, dogs, just a minute.
Well, we've had different dealings with him than he has. I think he's more of an occasional observer until maybe recently he started watching more. I could be off here, but that's just what I'm guessing. I would only see him occasionally. But I would see him do Ernie content, so he was definitely listening. But the question is, how long was he listening? I don't know unless he answers in the chat. Oh, now my dog's going. Edith, stop it. Duncan, cut the crap. 1 second. Duncan and Edith, stop that.
And okay, I think they're calmed down now.
Mine's wagging his tail, but, Come here.
And they're targeting your child, whether on video games, whether what it is. But they're targeting your child, and they're using these abbreviations. They're teaching your child these certain little codes, and without your child even knowing they're teaching them, they're teaching these kids these abbreviations. And some of them, it means, is your mom, dad around? They know then they got the okay to do whatever. They can go ahead and start setting the grooming process up. And when they start setting the grooming process up, that's when everything can happen more efficiently, and they can get in. And once they get in, of course, they say, oh, well, you don't live in so-and-so.
You can read some of these comments over here that say, Luca Vegas said, Ernie bragged about being in these chats with Chomos. Yes, he did. Genevieve said, believe it because he's confessing his sins. True.
I actually did a test. I was in a seminar one time, and this kid, a mother brought her kid, and he would sit down, he would put his hands down, but his hands was like this right here. It was automatically like this right here. I knew he was a gamer because he always had a controller in his hand. You feel?
Do you know anybody that's a gamer that holds their hands like that? I don't know one person. Nana C says, my question is, what does he have on Bandit to make him take up the sword for him? I don't know, because it sure switched. It sure switched.
But me, is it really that deep? That's the question.
I don't know. I got the feeling.
Or did he do it to be nice to spell? I guess I wouldn't. I'm not gonna. I'd like to hear his response first before I get too deep into making one. Because maybe he was trying to be good person in the sense with that spell. Maybe he was just thinking like he didn't want Ernie to get beat up or something. I'd like to hear his response first before I make a better opinion. I guess I'm open to hearing it. I guess.
Well, what made it so specific was he said it was a court justice spell, not protection, like to be beat up. That'd probably be a different spell. But
all right, I think you did say that.
Yeah. So, and that's why everybody in the chat said, well, is there a spell you could do for his victims? Like, what about the guy that had the van, you know, or whatever, or, you know, it should have been a spell for justice. I think if you want it to be a pure white magic, you know, feely, fruitsy thing, it should have been a spell for may justice be done. May the truth be told. May no lies get in, and may justice be done.
I just wonder how much of everything he has listened to.
I know.
I don't think it's as deep as we have, you know.
Did he drink?
But I could be wrong.
I don't know. Let's play some more.
Their hands automatically. You can look at gamers and you can tell who gamers are.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Do you know anybody's hands? Any gamers that look like that? Not one.
Let me put the video on. Does it show any hands?
He showed his hands.
Okay, I didn't see it because I was watching the chat. I have to switch back and forth.
See his hands here.
Our kid, and he would sit down. He would put his hands down, but his hands was like this right here. It was automatically like this right here. I knew he was a gamer because he always had a controller in his hand. You feel what I'm saying? Their hands automatically. You can look at gamers and you can tell who gamers are because their hands are always like this, and you can watch them. They kind of jitter their hands a little bit, just a little bit, because they're used to having a controller all the time in their hands. Or if they're keyboard, you know, there's certain things you can look out for.
That's such bullshit.
I've never seen that. I mean,
never.
Where would they put their hands like that? At the grocery store? Do they walk around like Frankenstein with their hands like that? Or you mean like when they're sitting down at a coffee table, their hands go into that motion? I have so many questions.
Right. Oh, Genevieve, believe me, we're thankful that he can't get to anybody now. Are you sure, Mr. Nobody? Are you sure your hands don't jitter like that? Nana, are you sure? I mean, Ernie Shell said it, so it must be true, right? Yaya said she's playing a game right now. Thank you. None of the game. My son was a gamer. Both my boys were gamers. I know many gamers, my nephews, my nieces. That's just
that's true. That would also apply to people that hold their phones all the time and are always typing on their keyboards, right? It's the same kind of thing. It's that rote motion, that trained brain always doing that motion. People that hold phones. So I don't think so. I don't know.
Does Ernie hold his whole hand like the square, you know? Purple Rainstorm says he has literally used Craigslist and dating apps himself for many years to hook up with men. With his fascination with children, I hope he is thoroughly looked into. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Who's going to run his Shopify stores now? Who's going to get out those orders? Who's going to get somebody better get to that and make sure all those lightning chargers get out there. The people that order them and the protein shakes that were sold and all that shit.
Yeah, I bet she's in charge of his $3,000 Crocodile Dundee hat.
Agent Helms, please watch that stuff.
And I said, I happened to make a I made notice up and I said, you don't live in the White House. I said, is that your music?
Yeah, that's my music. Yeah, I can turn it down a little bit because
No, you're good. You're good. I just didn't know if you're going to.
Genevieve says in this chat, don't laugh. He's been confessing the entire time. He's been wanting you to be entertained. He's been wanting you to be entertained.
First time I did this.
No, you're good.
I may be breaking up too. I've got bad service here. But I was like, you don't live in the White House with a brown fence or something like that. I just throw it out there. He said, no, I don't live in no there. And the kid was talking to me, but I was showing an example. And he's like,
showing an example. He was trying to get find out where a kid lived, but it was just an example. Ernie, that is why they leave it to law enforcement. Because if a weirdo like you does it, it's just fucking weird. What would you do if Ernie Shell was talking to your child like that?
Many of us would take matters into our own hands, for sure.
And then if he came up and says, oh, it was just a thing, would you believe him?
Well, you're also like, paint the picture better if he was talking in person to one of our kids like that, because I'll roundhouse that motherfucker.
All he said was,
I got a good spin kick and I ain't gonna take it. I'll tell you that. You ever see his kick video in the plaid?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll drop that motherfucker so fast. But my question is to Yaya. Yeah, I kind of want to do it. Who's panel? Who's Jamie? Well, I made a karate kick video just for him once when he wanted to question me on my kicks, but he never responded.
Yeah, you need to do a competition.
I need to do an updated video because I can do videos better. That's when I was just figuring out Canva.
But all he said was he seen this kid. He knew he was a gamer kid.
Oh, Jamie.
Because the way he held his hand. And then he went up to the kid and asked him, you live in that White House, don't you, with the brown trim? And the kid said, I don't live in the White House with the brown trim. And then I'll push play for the rest.
No, I live in a blue house with a so-and-so a rail fence.
Let me rewind it without me interrupting.
You don't live in the White House. I said, is that your music?
Yeah, that's my music. Yeah, I can turn it down a little bit.
Because their hands are always like this, and you can watch them, they kind of jitter their hands a little bit, just a little bit, because they're used to having a controller all the time in their hands. Or if they're keyboard, there's certain things you can look out for. And I said, I happened to I made notice up, and I said, you don't live in the White House. I said, is that your music?
Yeah, that's my music. Yeah, I can turn it down a little bit because
no, you're good. You're good. I just didn't know if you're going to. It's the first time I did this.
No, you're good. I
may be breaking up too. I've got bad service here, but I was like, you don't live in the White House with a brown fence or something like that. I just throw it out there. He said, no, I don't live in no there. And the kid was talking to me, but I was showing an example. And he's like, no, I live in a blue house with a so-and-so a rail fence or something like that. And that's what child predators do. They automatically say, oh, you don't live in this and that. And they argue with the kid and they give out information. They don't know what they're doing. They're actually being played. They're being
Don't
tricked.
you use those tactics to people on your channel?
Manipulation. They're giving.
He sure does.
I've seen him do those tactics to people on their panel to get them triggered so they'll answer while he's laughing about certain things. So, interesting.
And their address away without them even knowing it.
And see, part of that also has to do with isolation. They want to isolate their victim or their target.
Exactly. Here's another one. People don't think about. When they target women and their children.
Listen to this, because this is a doozy. I'll play it through and I won't interrupt. Okay. And then we'll talk about it. But this is a doozy.
A lot of it, they go to these events at school. These events at school they have. The woman, say their child is on the gym floor. They're usually way far up in the bleachers or whatever in the seats. They can't hardly get a good eye vision of their child. So they take their phone out and they zoom in on their child correctly to video them, right? Whatever they're singing, whatever performance they're doing. Am I correct?
Yeah, you see that a lot with TikTok and people just, innocently uploading videos of their child, but they don't know that there's pedophiles out there that's viewing the video, getting off, stroking themselves, doing whatever.
Right. But this.
Okay, now he said, you know how a woman goes into a gym and, you know, she goes way up top, you know, for her kids on the stage. You only go way up top if you get there late, Ernie. The people up the top, they're the people that got there late.
Mm-hmm.
No women's run up to the top of the gym to get the picture. You go to the stage to get the picture. Tell me you've never had a kid in a pageant or a play without telling me you haven't had a kid in a play. But now he's going to say that those pictures go on Craigslist or, I mean, TikTok. And he's, what Bandit said about him, I don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, that's gross. Yeah, he's saying like when a woman's in the bleachers zooming in on her kid, that there's a creep behind her that's taking pictures of her zooming. He said this before, this whole theory, and it's just kind of weird. So what are you supposed to do? Watch all over your shoulder and stare at everyone and then get them to look at you and be like, why is this person bugging out with schizoparanoia in the bleachers? I mean, it's just weird. No, you're going to film your kid in the safety of the school gymnasium, and if anyone approaches, you're going to pop a cap in their ass.
I think there's so many aspects of general awareness that he could teach, like teaching a parent how to kick some ass, teaching a kid how to run away, just
Safety
say
moves
no.
for women, some defense tactic, that would be a good one.
Instead of teaching these people to be so paranoid of child predators. If you go by Ernie's teaching, everything you do, everything you see is a child predator, and you need to hide away from everything, and everything's a predator. That's just not healthy teaching. And if he had any school about himself, I think they would tell him, Ernie, you need to teach a balanced curriculum. You know, that just tells you don't have any school, and he shouldn't be teaching anybody. He's going to have everybody, like you said, being
paranoid, looking over their shoulder, looking like they're on mess in the bleachers.
Right. Is scared to go to nobody's going to go to a school program like that. Goofball.
This is beforehand. This is what they do. This is the kidnappers. This is what we call the dogs. This is the people that want to hit you for your organs, 30,000 kills.
Could you believe that? The people that are watching you at your kids' programs and on TikTok are the dogs are going to get you for your $25,000 organs.
It's just not that prevalent on my island over here.
It's not that prevalent in Kansas either. I don't know. Maybe San Francisco, New York.
You're going to have a lot of unethical doctors that practice unethically like that have all this equipment and access to all these hospitals and all the other nurses to work with them, because you need a whole team. It's not something that can be done alone. You need all the equipment. It has to be kept a certain temperature. There's so many things that go into it.
Air med.
And then how do you get the people? Right, and who's going to get it? And they have to know where it comes from. When you get the organ, there needs to be info with it. Like when my niece just got her heart transplant, for instance, and her liver, to her, they found out where it came from. Another girl that had passed in a car wreck.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? They need to know all about it. They have to test it, the blood. I mean,
this is how you know Ernie is not educated in this. This is why Ernie shouldn't be talking about it. Because now some fool's going to think that the guy looking over your shoulder innocently at the school play is going to be wanting to harvest your organs in the back parking lot. It's just not how. It's just not right. It's just not how it works.
Kill you, whatever done, be done. This is what they do. This is the kidnappers. This is what we call the dogs. This is the people that want to hit you for your organs, 25, 30,000, kill you, whatever done, be done with it. This is what they do. They get behind the person. Okay, you know, when a family comes in, they usually sit real close to each other, right? I mean, they'll have maybe a little bit of space in them, but they're sitting right next to each other. Right. So if two separate families come in, they sit kind of apart from each other, right? They give space. So they know who to target about these females and these kids, these single females with these kids, because they're sitting by themselves. Nobody else is sitting with them.
Ernie must not go to very many packed gymnasiums. Most of the time when I went to my kids' program, all the seats were filled. There was not one seat between this family, one seat between this family. So what's he trying to say here? Does it make it? Is it making any sense?
But whatever organs were in that warehouse, Ash, were they like some weird freak collectors, like stuff in jars of formaldehyde or whatever? Because if they're just sitting in a warehouse, they're not useful for recycle. They're not going to be able to go into a patient. You can't just have a heart or a liver sitting on a shelf, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, was it some sort of freak cult shit?
To get it done, you would. I'm sure
You
it's
need a whole
done.
team. You need a team. You need a facility.
Yeah,
People
and
that are
Eric,
willing to work unethically.
you can't freeze a heart. You can't freeze a lung and be good. I mean, you
It
can
needs
freeze
to
a
get
heart,
right
use
to
it
the
for
patient.
if you want to
Somebody
use
has
it
to be
for
waiting. Yeah.
dissecting. Yeah, you can do that. But if you're going to put it
Yeah,
into
right.
another person,
Dissecting, yeah.
you only have like, I don't know, not even an hour. I should probably Google that to be sure. But I don't think you have very much time at all. And it has to be done in a sterile setting, has to be transported in a sterile setting. It has to be, the
A
patient has
lot
to be
goes
kept
into it.
alive. The patient has to be kept alive until the organ is harvested. And then you got to put it in I think a cooler. They put it in a cooler. But
And then the people receiving it, they'd have to be
ready.
contacted, which most of them are. I mean, how does one go about looking on a black market anyways? Because then you have to be at that facility, the dirty facility, ready to catch that, and you'd have to be risking infection and stuff. And then if, let's say you had a problem, like my niece had to go on anti-rejection meds, and then she ended up with this huge pericarditis and all kind of shit where she had to go back in for 6 weeks. They're gonna say, hey, you're a patient here. You just had a heart transplant. Where'd you get that heart, bro? Because you're gonna have to have follow up and stuff with your regular doctors. They're gonna know, be like, where'd you get that organ? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you got to think of here when
I
you think
agree
of
with
these
Night
things. You
Out.
know?
I think it's like in third world countries, like in Pakistan, and places like that.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just think it
Yeah,
doesn't have. It's not as deep as people. I don't
no,
think it's big a problem as it gets presented. I
it's
think
not as big
it
as going
can
to.
most certainly. Yeah.
Go ahead. It's not as big as going to a school auditorium and picking out a client.
Yeah, it does happen. I will give you that. I just feel like the way it's presented often is that it's way more, and it's
Right.
no. I know where I am right now. I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to seek any help I need from a real medical facility, for instance. I'm not going to go looking on the black market. Hell, I even tried to give my extra kidney away, and I couldn't.
Mm.
I have 3 kidneys.
Do you really?
Yep, my left side's a double.
And they said you couldn't give it away?
It's fully functional with an extra filtration system and everything.
Oh.
Well, I signed up. I saw this thing on back when I was on Facebook for a kid that needed one, and I started filling out the paperwork and stuff to see about being a match because you have to like fill out an application and stuff. But I also have a uh autoimmune problem, so once I filled it out, I can't give it away. You have to have meet a certain criteria, so I didn't even get to the next level.
Yeah, and you're
But I
not going to put
tried.
some
I was
rando.
going to though. I was willing to do that, but I'm not. I can't do it because of problems I have. I mean, if it was an emergency and it was a family, they might do it if it was life or death, but not for a person online, which I tried.
If you Google that book, the Ninja Mind Control, there's a synopsis of it.
Oh, sorry. Duncan, I am online.
There's a synopsis of it, and it says, use people's worst fear. The gist of the book is you use people's worst fears against them. So if Ernie's teaching these classes of these worst fears, that's how he gets his followers. He gets the people that are susceptible to believe in this, thinking that Ernie's some great savior going to save everybody by awareness, and it's just jibber jabber. Just jibber jabber.
Nope. Yeah. They don't want this shit. Except when I die, maybe they'll want it for cutting open or something, but hey. Life or death, take my organs, bro. I'm trying.
So what the pedophile or what the child predator will do, or a predator in general, they'll get behind the woman who's got their camera looking at your kid. Well, guess what? Everybody's got a cell phone these days. They'll take their cell phone out and they'll zoom in on what they're looking. Guess what they just did? They targeted you and your child.
Why wouldn't the pedophile just take a picture of the kid that's standing on the stage instead of zooming in on the woman's camera? She's taking a picture of her kid on the stage. He's standing behind her. He's really going to zoom in on her camera instead of just going front row and getting a picture of the kid.
So you
What's
can
the
live your
difference?
life in fear that somebody might be behind taking a picture of the picture that the other guy's already looking at anyways. They're already there and they can take their own zoom in picture. So why the
Right.
fuck do they want your zoom in picture? Or you
Right.
can hold it on your lap and put your hands all around you and live in fear of taking that picture that the guy behind you is taking your picture that they can be taking themselves. Because they're already got a phone
Exactly.
that none of that shit makes sense. Think logically. They can get their own
Exactly.
picture. They're not going to take your picture.
That's exactly.
Motherfucker, come on now.
That's I should want to say preach, preach, because that's exactly common sense.
Well, it doesn't get to that next level sometimes with some,
But is it really
unfortunately.
that level? I mean, we're talking
Well,
about.
I mean, not really, but I try to justify everything sometimes.
This is the remedial of the remedial. Is like, why would you want a picture of a
There's a
picture?
lot of creators, think about it, Constance, like one we watch and stream sometimes that we go, how in the fuck does she not think, you know what I'm saying? Like, even just
Yep.
yesterday. I'm not going to say a name to try to be
Yep.
mean or anything, but the logic, the lack of it, or thereof, I should say, is mind-blowing sometimes.
And it
I was
gives us
at the beach yesterday just screaming. I could have screamed at the ocean. What the fuck is going on with this brain?
it's the right combination of people that get in and follow Ernie and think that he's going to say somebody. But I never thought Bandit would be one of them, and I never thought Bandit would let his platform be a platform to spew this nonsense, because I thought he would say, "Wait a minute, Ernie. Wait a minute."
I think maybe I'm trying to justify this too. Maybe he just wanted to hear what he had to say to have the interview, to have the content, just to get in the mind of Ernie. Maybe there's more to it. I'm gonna give him that until I
Okay,
hear, just to be
that
nice,
could be.
because you never know.
That could be. We'll play some more.
Simple as that. Then what they do, they screenshot that. They send it to the guy out there waiting in the vehicle that's going
They
to
can
get
take
you.
their own picture. They have a phone too.
Okay, so Ernie wants us to believe that there's a guy behind you waiting for you to, first of all, you're in the gym with the seats apart. The chairs are apart because that separates families. So then you know what families are what. So then you get your picture of your kid and you get your picture of your kid. And the guy behind you comes up and takes a picture of your picture. And then he takes that picture and he sends it to the guy outside that's going to kill you.
Yep.
Okay. As long as we're following through.
I could say one scenario where it would make more sense that they could say, "Hey, bro," to the guy in the car, "there's a chick in here that looks like she doesn't have a man with her. Get her in the parking lot." That would make more sense.
Right. Or,
Than the
hey, I'm
other
going to send you
stuff.
this picture. I'm going to go down front row center and take a
I'll text you when she's walking out alone or something
Yeah,
like that,
because
which
what
can
are the
happen
odds
to
you get the
anyone.
wrong kid?
Stay
If
with
you
the
don't get a very
crowd,
good picture.
which is why you stay with the crowd and don't go off alone.
Yeah, so nobody can get you in Ernie's Harvest World.
And your child.
Say
Simple
that,
as
Liv.
that. Then what they do, they screenshot that. They send it to the guy out there waiting in the vehicle that's going to get you. After the event's over, what does mostly people want to do? They want to go eat or want to go home, right? They want to leave the building as fast as possible, correct?
Yeah, they would usually want to go out to eat, like Sunday supper, like
bingo. Or any event or anything. They're with a family, hey, we're gonna go out and have a little bit of time, before we cut in. Okay, good deal. So what this guy does up at the top, he makes sure he watches this girl and this girl and her mommy out to the vehicles and everything, and they follow them. And then what he does, he cuts them off. He comes in between them.
Oh
Well,
my
the guy in
God.
the van or the vehicle that's going to put it in there is already waiting on it. So they
Not when you
direct
walk
them
out with
that
the
way.
crowd.
They may have a weapon up under them. Hey, you need to shut your mouth. Let's go. Don't.
When in the history of ever have we heard anything like this reported on?
Actually, they're not gonna They're not gonna probably try to grab somebody that's at a crowd. They're gonna try to get somebody on their own because that's too risky. Too risky for screaming and yelling, and everybody else is already leaving. That's just not a good scenario for a person that's kidnapping, I don't think.
No, it doesn't make sense that he's going to herd you like your cattle, like they're going to sort you. You know how you get
Not.
on your horse and you sort your
It's
cattle?
way
Like,
too risky. Way
yeah,
too
we're
risky.
going to herd you
There's a whole crowd there watching their kids. They're all
to a
coming out at
white
the
van,
same
I
time.
bet. A white
Yep,
van that would be
down by the river.
Yes, that wouldn't be, what's that word? Obvious, like stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Ashley said,
I see the technique. I get what he's trying to paint. It's just the picture that he painted with the crowd and stuff doesn't flow with me. But I get what he's trying to say. But it's just Edith.
Ashley
No.
said, "Will 7 Central work for you and me? It'll work for me. It'd be 8 your time, 8:30."
Oh, I gotta write something in the back chat.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Don't say nothing. Nobody's going to say something, especially if they think they're going to die. And that's why I said, before you get put in a vehicle,
I've got to hear this mess without my interruption.
They're looking at your kid. Well, apart from each other, right? They give space to 1,000, kill you, whatever be done with it. This is what they do. They get behind the person. Okay, when a family comes in, they usually sit real close to each other, right? I mean, they'll have maybe a little bit of space in them, but they're sitting right next to each other.
Right.
So if two separate families come in, they sit kind of apart from each other, right? They give space. So they know who to target about these females and these kids, these single females with these kids, because they're sitting by themselves. Nobody else is sitting with them. So what the pedophile or what the child predator will do, or a predator in general, they'll get behind the woman who's got their camera looking at your kid. Well, guess what? Everybody's got a cell phone these days. They'll take their cell phone out and they'll zoom in on what they're looking. Guess what they just did? They targeted you and your child. Simple as that. Then what they do, they screenshot that. They send it to the guy out there waiting in the vehicle that's going to get you. After the event's over, what does mostly people want to do? They want to go eat or want to go home, right? They want to leave the building as fast as possible, correct?
Yeah, they would usually want to go out to eat, like Sunday supper, like
bingo. Or any event or anything. They're with a family, hey, we're gonna go out, we'll have a little bit of time, before we cut in. Okay, good deal. So what this guy does up at the top, he makes sure he watches this girl and this girl and her mommy out to the vehicles and everything, and they follow them. And then what he does, he cuts them off. He comes in between them. Well, the guy in the van or the vehicle that's gonna put it in there is already waiting on it. So they direct them that way. They may have a weapon up under them. Hey, you need to shut your mouth. Let's go. Don't say nothing. Nobody's going to say something, especially if they think they're going to die. And that's why I said, before you get put in a vehicle, we were doing general awareness.
Oh, okay. That's enough of that nonsense for today. Katie is live in 5 minutes, and we can revisit part 2 of this tomorrow, because this is just too much. And maybe we could get some insight tonight from Bandit.
Yeah, true.
Get some details. But yeah, we've had enough of Ernie's jibber jabber. It's time for a palate cleanser with Katie and the sister wives.
Oh wait, is that what she's doing?
Yeah, it says the sister wives exposed, and KE is walk again.
That's what I was gonna do. The one from last night, but I mean, I still might, because we all have a different perspective. She's a little more raw on it.
Yep. And
Definitely more.
I love it when people go over the same thing, because everybody has a different take on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You and me and Katie did it. All 3 had a different take on it.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We should do that again sometime.
I could don't get enough of the coverage. And everybody said, "Oh, what you can do now that Ernie's gone? Oh, there's so much content." If I had the gumption, if I had the heart, if I had the patience, I would love to go over all the misinformation that he started in the Summer Wells case. But I'm just not there yet. I wish somebody would, but I'll just know I'd get so mad.
Oh, the dog story. Oh my Lord. Oh. I wonder if she'll go, if Katie hears that story, I wonder if she'll think and go right to where I went with how that happened.
I don't know. And then tonight at 7:30 Central is Ashley.
Oh, you set it up, Ash? I'll share that too in a little bit.
It'll be 8:30 for your time, 7:30 my time.
All right, sounds
So
good.
don't forget that. She wants us to both be there if we can.
Well, hell, depending on what the festivities, activities of this YouTube street are today, if it don't fit in, I might even, Mama T's not coming on as much. I might even do hers tomorrow. We'll see if it don't work out
You
today.
could maybe even do it after Katie's.
That might be funny if it fits in. If there's enough time, depends on how long.
Yeah. We'll play.
Yeah, I want to tell my part about the dog, the theory of how it boinked the other one to Katie. Yes, I do. I want to see
And
what
I
she has
like
to
it when
say.
people go live to live to live. Like,
Me too. Especially when you're cleaning and doing stuff or projects.
this would be a good time to do this now. There's a way you can send people over to the chat,
Oh yeah, I never figured that out. That's seems complicated.
Yeah.
I know Ghost and Peachy know how to do that, but not me.
If you go to edit video and then let me see Katie's.
Did they ever tell you how?
I think came across it the other day when I was editing my video.
Is it in the StreamYard?
No, you go to YouTube. Like right now, I'm going to the YouTube
on the
side
YouTube side.
Oh. Yeah, and then it says edit video from the YouTube side down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it'll say customization, and then it says redirect. Redirect allows you to keep viewers engaged across multiple events. Add a live stream or premiere. So I'm going to add Katie.
Before you teleport, are you on the YouTube side right now?
Yes.
Did you ever see my tutorial or know about giving away memberships that you can give away the free ones every month?
Oh yeah. I gave.
Do you want me to show you how to do it? Do you want me to tell you how to do it?
Already this month.
Oh, okay. You already know how to do it. Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I like to make sure people know about that.
Okay, now I think it's on there.
Yeah, no problem. All y'all like hanging out, laughing, having a good coffee hour.
Oh, Katie's got to give me permission to do it.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, how do
Yeah,
you get permission?
When you go to your settings on the studio, I'd be like, Sarah has my permission to redirect me. Katie has my permission, like your channel link.
Do you have to put each person in?
Yeah, each person. Because what if you don't want someone redirecting you?
Is that in this? Where? All right. Did you just say that part's in the studio?
Yeah, that's the studio.
Oh, this sounds complicated.
It's really not.
Oh, turn it on. Okay. All right. So we have to tell people to turn us on, and we turn them on.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like the teleportation too.
Yeah, I do too. And then you just zoom right over there. So, okay. Well, we're gonna be go now. So
I'll figure that out later. Oh, there she is. Sister Wives Exposed. This ought to be good.
See you at Katie's, and then maybe Sarah's later, and then Ash's tonight. And Genevieve, I will get you on tomorrow if you'll be here tomorrow. I'll drop you a link tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you all over there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sarah.